This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's the show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Well, our sign cannot be changed. Shows without a technical cannot go away at this point.
Well, at this point, it's like an old friend. Why would we want it to?
It seems like, I don't come in this room very often during the week while y'all aren't here, and then I just turn it on and assume it will all work as it was when we left. Electrical things seem to have issues.
It seems like everything lost. All your battery chargers seem empty.
There was a power fluctuation earlier in the day that caused everything to... Some things shut down, some things didn't. So I have a feeling that it may have stemmed from that. So I will be vigilant in the next few days to find out which component decided.
And then Facebook was kicking people off last night.
It was.
I got kicked off for a while.
I didn't do it
and
last...
I was on a tear because I was pissed off
too.
at everybody.
I was looking up. I'm like, is Facebook down? What a shame.
Yeah, and then I didn't understand it for the longest time because my internet was working. And I'm like, well, why can I have one and not the other?
I'm like, I can get Google. What's happening?
I want one and not the other.
Hi, guys. How's everybody doing?
Hi, everybody in the chat room. Sorry for the delay. Technical issues started us a little late. Bootsy and Jenny and Brand and Joe and Amina and Aaron from LA. And Aaron from LA was correct in... he wins our prize for the week as the listener on the audio-only stream who realized it was up. So
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Anyway, I rebooted it. If it's not working, figure out where the fuck YouTube is. Hi, Mom. Love you. She's right there on the old chat room. I called her just a little while ago. I called my mother earlier because, well, I don't know.
It's Tuesday.
Where our jumping off point for this is going to be. But
start there.
Start right here. So I called her just a little while ago because, again, I don't know if you don't know about what is going on in America right now, aside from just a bunch of fucking crazy-ass people who seem to think that everybody has to have guns. CNN has been interviewing a lot of the victims' brothers, sisters, mothers, so on and so forth. And I was just standing in the living room earlier, walking through as I was getting ready for all of this, and the mother that lost her son and his partner, they'd been together for several years. I honestly, I don't remember the name. But they took the shot wide. Normally, when they do an interview shot like that, it's literally just maybe from your abdomen up. They just show the two people doing the interview. Well, they pulled out, and it's Anderson standing there hand in hand with the woman, and they were talking. And she is, at least in this interview, she was the strongest. She didn't flinch. She was very strong and very all about her son and all about his partner and all those things. And Anderson just couldn't get through it, and then I couldn't get through it. And I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm calling Mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Just going to call her.
I think it's a perfect call to make.
Yeah. So we talked for a while, and she gave me her input on how many things she wants changed and instructed me, because I am on social media and she's not. I have now been directed to send letters to everybody.
Yeah.
That's a good task.
Well,
that's actually on my list for tomorrow.
To send letters to everybody.
And here in the States, you can get online and be part of the Brady. It's from the Brady Bill.
Oh.
From Brady that was shot with Reagan and James Brady. And I got a text message today, and I get text messages from them all the time.
Not from James Brady.
No, it'd be hard to do that.
I think so.
No, but from the Brady Bill.
But technology is advancing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's true. It's the possibility.
And it's under 877-877 is how it comes up on my phone. I don't know if that's a common way that they send texts.
What's the name of the organization again?
The Brady Bunch. The Brady
Is it the
Bill.
Brady something prevention of...
Yeah, I'm not really sure because they've lazied it up for me, and they just text me when it's time.
Lazied it up.
They just call me and tell me when it's time to call my senator or congressman, and they're like,
I love that.
I get text messages all the time of
oh, Al, that's very cool.
Is it all gun violence or what?
It's the Brady Bill. It's from the Brady Bill people. And today it said, thanks for calling me on the Senate. Thanks for calling on the Senate to close the terror gap and keep guns out of dangerous hands. So it just said today at 9:25 this morning, the U.S. Senate is about to vote for Bill 551 to keep guns out of the hands of terrorists. Tell them to close the terror gap, and it said reply yes for them to call me now. I said yes. They rang my phone a second later. I typed in my zip code, and they connected me to
Oh, that's handy.
Flake's office.
Uh huh.
And then my
Your rep.
I didn't need to call my representative because he's already on. Mine is the Democrat that's on board. And I'm terrible about remembering the name.
Well,
Because
and-
I always think I have yours.
Isn't it Laura
Right.
Pastor? Yours?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm almost positive
His
it
name
is.
That's our
sounds
city
oddly
council
female.
member.
No, but I thought that it was her for you.
Well,
Yeah.
and I've decided for me, like, what I need to do is I need to
I never
go-
have to call and yell at her
Yeah.
because she's
Right.
Because she's Democrat.
That's
She
good.
pretty much votes exactly how I want her to. So one day I should probably
Sure.
call her and just say, "Hey, thanks,"
Good
No?
job, yeah. Atta girl.
or him.
Yeah,
I
well done.
forget.
Or
It's
guy.
terrible.
No, I think what I'm going to do for me is I'm going to go through, and I've set aside some time for tomorrow to go and like find out who all of my representatives are, because I don't know all of them. Everyone should, but I don't. Like my state representative, I'm like,
Yeah.
Steve maybe.
Because I always think it's Kirsten
Sure,
Oh.
because she sends me all the emails and I get all her updates. So
that's just the Katie June factor.
and we've had 2 elections where I told you
She's input your
I don't
information
understand why I
into the
can't
database.
vote for her
Is
because she's
That's the Katie June
she's
factor.
in contact.
But
with
what
me
I'm going to
constantly.
do is I'm going to make a list. I'm going to print it out like a printed list,
Oh,
and I'm going to
print it
post
out.
it right next to my computer, right on the wall. I'm going to tape it right up there like I'm a redneck, because I am. And that way, I don't have to wonder. I will eventually memorize that list. And when
Oh, that's a
election
very
time
good
comes up
point.
again,
That's a very good way to
like,
do it.
I'll eventually just know, and then it's right there in front of me, and I can go right to their website,
Yeah.
right to whatever, send them an email, send them
And
a
you go to
tweet.
and you can go to like U.S. House of Representatives.gov, and again, you just type in your zip code, and it tells you who
Yeah.
your representative is, which
And-
makes it even worse that I didn't just do that to find out.
And there
I'm
there
pretty sure it is
are
Larry
there are
this
other websites that go a little bit farther than that, where you put in your name and your zip code and everything, and it brings up all of your representation
Right.
Oh.
and how to contact them.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's very
there's- yeah, I don't know. It's something about everytown.org, I think.
Okay.
Is the one you're talking about the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention Act? That's the long name for it, and they just call it the Brady Act.
The Brady Bill, and that's the
The Brady Bill, and then
Right.
but
Wait,
the,
let me bring up my folder on guns, guns.
But
Hold
the
on.
organization that's been formed, they're like a super PAC or a political action committee that is a super PAC.
I'm just trying to figure out how I can get involved in or get into them. Because if you type in the 8777, that's actually just a service that they use to send out their texts. It's not connected to them. They actually have. I don't even know this because Ed Studios is about to launch their own. Wherein it's just literally they're all tied to it, and then they send it to a server, and the server kicks it out.
Oh, so we're gonna like be like Mrs. Duggar and robocall people to listen to this shit?
No, it's not robocall. It's purely texting.
Oh,
It's purely texting. It's something else that's.
but if we could get her,
Oh, very nice.
that'd be fantastic. Because now everybody wants to be a gay ally. Let's get that fucktard up here.
yeah, sure.
Right.
But there's no bigger, huger, bigly
Cunt?
ally than Donald Trump.
He is the mostest.
I've heard that.
I heard in an interview. I just heard it out of
Well, I
my
felt
ear.
it with my
Seriously?
heart before. I felt it with my heart.
Exactly,
early
deep in
on.
my loins.
Deep in my lungs.
I heard him the audio from an interview of him today, and he's he's horrible at reading a teleprompter. One, number two.
Well, president shouldn't do that. He said that.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing was he said it, and it sounded like the most challenging thing he'd ever had to actually say, and his words were 4 letters.
Oh, when he
of the
screamed that out.
LGBT, like it was a trial for him to do it. It made me laugh.
I
It's like, you
literally
can't
got
even
it.
say
Because
it.
you don't have the TV on at all times
Yes.
in the other room. I had to get up and rewind. Was he yelling it at somebody? Was he now, like, he calls her Pocahontas? Was he now calling someone? Because he said it so, with such anger that I was like, well, I need to find out which of those 4 letters he's mad at. And then I had an old friend, a straight friend, trying to stay above the political fray, like really trying to stay out of politics despite his political leanings, and trying to be the ally that he needs to be. So I get like kind of a reach out to like, what does LBGTQIA stand for? And
Yeah,
I
as
might be
matter of
missing a
fact.
letter.
Yeah.
They've added
Those are
I
most
too.
of them.
Yeah, that's what he had.
Well-
IA.
Oh.
Because allies at the end, intersex.
Intersex, and then I guess questioning, but I thought
Questioning
queer. 2 people
I've always
thought
the
queer. But I
People
had to
it used to be
intersect
queer.
because we had that conversation.
People talk about that. And aren't
But I
sure.
had to, asexual was, it could be either asexual or ally. I'm like, well,
Yep.
you can't offer people options. You got to keep saying it again. And if it ends in AA, it kind of fits for this show. But
The
semi-appropriate.
future of this show, perhaps.
Oh, that's
And then it
funny.
turned into this whole conversation because it was all on a post, and I was like, I kind of like the word queer. I'm okay with that. And Dan Savage was working pretty hard today on TV trying to get queer back. That's because I think he was just sick of the word jumble, the letter jumble.
Oh.
It's so hard.
He was just saying queer.
Oh.
And, the first time I was like, and I'm like, okay, I got it. I'm with
I
you.
don't mind gay. I mean, that doesn't bug me. The only thing that
Well, gay doesn't seem to include lesbians, bisexual. You know what I mean? That's
Apparently.
all of a sudden we own that letter on our own.
Oh,
These two don't get to be gay.
the boys, we
yeah, the
own
boys,
that.
the boys got that one on their own.
Got it. Well, it makes sense. In America, we're white and we're male, so I think we get to
Yeah.
own what we want. Isn't that how it works? Isn't that how this whole
But I-
fucking country works?
So I'm happy to embrace
Queer.
queer.
Well, there was that show for the long, Queer as Folk. Nobody had a problem with that. Maybe
I loved
Sure.
that show.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that show too.
So do we just change it to Queer Talk?
No, there you go.
Nah.
Nah.
I
Too
just
much.
threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Too far. There it is.
Oh.
The bridge too far.
There we go.
We found the line. We crossed it. We're headed back.
We'll
We're
close
okay.
that.
It's just been a tough, and I have to thank you all for doing this and everybody in the chat room for doing this because I have not really been able to get up or out of the house or really.
It's been a tough 48 hours.
And I made a very,
Yeah.
very conscious decision Sunday at about 8 a.m. to not add liquor to this until tonight. Like, I just decided
fair.
that the rage that was burning
You
really
like-
didn't need
any
more fuel.
We didn't need to pour
Now-
gasoline on that particular fork.
Now that I know that about Al, welcome to a very special episode of the show with Clayton McKee. We don't know what's gonna happen.
But luckily, like I have to tell you though, and I was seriously not sure about how like how this was gonna go on. Like I honestly couldn't say how I was gonna like get here and like have a conversation and like just like Samantha Bee said yesterday. Can I just scream for 2 hours and 45 minutes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then I'll just go home?
We
But
may-
I have
we
to
may
say,
lose our
in a
listener.
in a weird moment of all news all the time. Bernie Sanders, God bless him, he was seriously trying to do the right thing. The first half of his press conference was so very well done and hit the right points, hit it bigly, the right points. But that tone deaf motherfucker just turned into a whining session about the Democratic National Committee.
Oh, no.
And you could see the reporters all like, oh no, please don't make us be here for this. Please don't make us be at the sore losers white guy. And the press conference just went so sour so fast. And I was telling him, like, I had it on two screens. Because I don't watch the TV, I'm in another room. I actually have it on two screens so I can miss two things at once. So the picture.
He got 800 channels of chrome-plated
Exactly.
crap
I
coming
need
into
to-
his house.
That's exactly how I use the internet. I use 4 different screens all sitting in front of me.
Well, I
And
just
I'm-
sing
and
along
I'm
to
just, and I'm just sitting there watching clips of Hamilton.
Yeah,
from
and
the
I'm just
Tonys
reading
on
the words
Fourth
to
Street
Hamilton
Parade.
to make sure my rap career gets on track. I am so ready to be a black woman.
You're halfway there.
But
Right.
so as I'm like walking across to like turn off the TV because I'm like, oh no.
Not today,
I still
Bertha.
kind of like him. I don't need to watch this. CNN and MSNBC almost at the exact same second just cut the feed and we're like, nope. Here's a picture of a cat.
Which they stole from John Oliver, which is brilliant.
Yeah. So that was just craziness. So I mean, it really did like set the mood for like, all right, there's some laughter to be had somewhere.
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 There always is.
I
It just
completely
it
know.
Sometimes
did
it takes a
legitimately
while.
take a couple days.
Sure.
So what does that mean? A PLIA-GBQ.
Well, that's what Jenny said. We'll be known as the alphabet people soon. And I agree, because it's just the alphabet. Name a letter. Pick a letter.
And with as many of us that work at Disney, we'll end that with M-O-U-S-E. Cheesy Pete's. Yeah. What?
Oh, okay. He did spell mouse.
Yeah, no. I got that. I wasn't listening, and so
I thought he spelled it wrong. I had my grammar checker all out.
M-O-U-S-E.
thought that is. No, you did. You got there.
Thank
yeah.
you.
You know,
I know.
It
I
is-
missed the
pretty
U.
good
It was
about it,
so
yeah.
lovely. I lost consciousness to the U.
Let me tell you, it has been a tough couple of days for reading comprehension, and here's why. No one
Here's why.
No one that apparently fundamentally disagrees with me can spell or use a return key or punctuation.
Punctuation is a big one, yeah.
Right.
I have had such a hard time. Like, these people might be making valid points, but I can't get it out of
get
the
past
word
it.
jumble
Right.
that, that they're putting online.
word
People,
salad.
if you're going to communicate only in plain text, the way that you represent yourself ought to be intelligent and well put together and well thought out, or at least have appropriate spacing and
Correct.
punctuation occasionally.
Yeah, and feeling badly, not a thing. Can't do it. That's your
No.
capacity to feel that's no longer working. Your ability to feel is bad. You feel bad.
You can't feel bad.
So if my hands were numb and
They
I was
aren't-
trying to touch stuff, then I would be feeling badly.
Yes.
Oh, that's, yes,
Yes, that
very
is the
good.
correct-
Okay.
Now your adverb has been used
Oh,
correctly.
that is a good thing.
Judge
That's,
is wrong.
and that's the kind of
I'm
shit
really
that
good
brings
at
me
language
joy.
games.
That brings me joy.
Yeah, that makes
I'm
me happy.
feeling badly
And I
today.
yeah, and I
That's good. I like it.
ouch, ouch,
Is this
'cause I keep
hot? Is
touching
this
it.
cold?
My
I'm feeling
feelings
badly today.
That's right. That's very good.
And the wrong use of irony.
I'm gonna
drives me
write
up
that
a
down.
Fucking tree, but that's another day.
Oh, I still get it. I still back and forth, and I almost called Buddy early today. Please explain effect and effect to me again, please. Please, somebody do that, because I never.
Affect and effect?
Yes.
Yeah, because one
so
is
if something
active.
affects you emotionally,
It's E.
Is that the E?
It's-
So emotional is
it's
E.
an A.
It's an A.
And
Oh,
affect, it, with an E, is like an effect.
Right. A is currently happening.
Like
E
her feeling
is
badly might
afterwards.
affect
Yeah.
Right.
adversely.
Exactly.
But it can affect you.
Affect. Right.
Yes, but
Oh Christ, this
Yeah.
is getting worse.
You got to get a dictionary.
Well,
We
no,
can't
I
have
mean,
it.
like, I could
no.
be
This is
affected.
this is one of the hardest
I
ones.
can
right.
be affected by the weather, right?
But the weather has
Right.
an effect on you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
it's the cause.
I can be affected,
Me
and emotionally it makes me very
Slapping
sad,
you in the
but
face is affecting you with an A,
Getting hit
and
by
the
a
effect
bolt
of
of
that
lightning
is your face fucking hurts.
Pretty much fucks me up, and that
No,
affects
yeah.
me.
Anyways,
Yeah.
These
I don't
are my
want to go there.
thoughts.
Marnie, thoughts?
There you have it.
Okay.
That's all.
I get
It's just
lost.
gonna be word salad.
Word salad. You like to
like
toss
it.
your
Toss
word
it.
salad.
Hey now.
Enjoy your
Buy me dinner first.
Well, I know
Maybe.
where this is all gonna go, but I say we start out
Agreed.
with as much as we can of what normal life.
What else has been
What
going
else
on?
have you done in the past week or so? Kat Carlson, you have the floor.
What
And
did I
thank
do
you,
this
Kat
week?
Carlson. Let's move on to Marnie. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding.
You ready to see the effects of the slap yet?
You want to be affected by the effect?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Kat.
Exactly.
Goodness
Yeah, exactly. I like it.
Gracious. What did I do? Oh, went to work. We did a little thing that we like to call a lip sync battle.
Oh, I saw a video of you. I didn't
did you see
listen,
the-
but I
the-
saw
the
a
mild
video
video of me?
of you. Yes. Oh, I
Well-
wish I could bring that up.
This time around, I got kind of voluntold to do it, so I went into it a little bitter.
I love that expression.
Bitter.
I did because I was like, I was trying really hard not to do this, and now I kind of have to. Ugh. Mostly just because I couldn't find a
Ugh.
reason good enough
Hey,
to
Nan.
not do it.
Okay.
So I and it's not an event that I overly prepare for anyway. I'm not doing drag. I'm not doing a big event. I'm literally going on stage, doing a thing, collect some tips, and going back to work anyway.
All right.
Because I'm not taking off for it because it's
Sure.
4 minutes and I'm done.
Right.
You know, and some
It's
of
a
the
smoke break. I mean,
Right.
if you smoked.
I used to, but
Yeah.
no. And some of the participants go all out, and it's wonderful, and it really like the blend of it makes a really fun show. But yeah, I did no preparation. I picked my song the morning before. I was kind of like practicing another one, going, "Oh, this would be a really cute number," and then decided no,
No.
because I
No.
hadn't learned it well enough yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and raised some money for one of the local chorus groups here to go to whatever thing that they're going to. I wish I remembered.
I'm going to assume a competition of some
I
sort.
would assume so, a competition or a
What else do you do?
presentation or something.
Yeah.
I support them.
Maybe
I'm
they're
all
going
about
to a
it.
bigger lip sync battle. Like
Maybe.
the Battle of the Choirs.
Maybe. So we did that, and that was a lot of fun. And then Sunday was Tony, and I went and hung out and shared my hamalaria with other friends of mine that are afflicted,
Oh, there's another one. Affliction.
similarly afflicted.
Yes.
and that's so much.
Hamilton
That
has
is
an effect
so,
on them.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But it
well, it's
affects
had
us.
quite an effect on me though.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and that's a really fun thing to do, and sometimes I forget that theater and music are meant for a group of people a lot of times, and not just singularly with your headphones on.
Yeah, losing
Unless,
your
you're,
fucking mind.
unless he's riding behind you on the canal and he's singing at the top of his lungs, whatever. Then it's a whole,
And then
it's a
it's
solo.
for anyone along the Grand Canal.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sharing Hamilton with the unwashed, if you will.
Well, but the last couple of years I've watched it. The Great
Unwashed
Unwashed
in the canal
Yeah.
or along the banks.
Soon to be washed.
But the last couple of years, like I've watched the Tonys either by myself or with Sharon playing on Facebook while it was playing.
Suffering through it with you.
Suffering through it,
Yeah,
right.
Got it.
Politely putting up with it.
And I'm not saying it's a suffrage at all. I just know that if she's next to you on Facebook, she has no interest in what
She's
you're watching.
not as
Right,
interested as
right.
perhaps I am.
Yeah.
And it was like the opening was lovely. The
Yeah.
words from James Corden were
Well,
very
and we
good.
actually happened to miss it because you're with a group of people and having a party, and we were chatting, and
Oh my God,
the
that's so
hostess's husband was quite the taskmaster. He was like, "All right, it's time to do the," you know what I mean? Like he
I
had
like
his,
him already.
I know he was very Clayton McKee. He had his time schedule down, and he knew
You have
what
a
we
pie
were
chart?
doing.
Got to get him pie charts.
You know what? He didn't have a pie chart,
Well,
but I'll bet he would
I'll-
appreciate
I'll help
one.
him. give me a number. I'll
And
get in
a
touch
slice
with
of
him.
that pie
I
would
don't
be
know
delicious.
Scott that well, but I will propose it for next year.
I
because-
do.
Yeah, because we're handing out annual holidays right now. I've got Fakesgiving, which happens sometime a little bit before Thanksgiving. And so now,
It's in November.
Yeah, and so now my friend my friend Michelle has the Tonys. We've decided every year for the rest of time you get to host
due
the
to her
Tonys.
successful
Right,
hosting.
due to the successful hosting
Oh.
until she fails and she has to have it removed from her.
Till she
Yeah, so we're just
fails.
handing out holidays. So next year I will suggest a
But
pie
did
chart.
you did see the musical opening?
We did see the musical opening,
Which
yes,
was just-
which I can't find a clip of online just yet. I only cursory looked on Facebook.
CBS has been a little stingy, but they're out there.
CBS is always a little stingy with their stuff, but I'm glad how I'm happy for how
Oh, the Tony Awards page has them all up there. The Tony Awards page is giving them away free and clear because they have The World Turned Upside Down on there today, and they have Waitress on there today.
oh good.
But
I have it recorded. I haven't watched
Yeah,
it.
I have most of them already
Yeah.
downloaded.
the opening though, where he goes through and puts himself in all those different shows, was just so good.
Was so clever.
And then just the
Yeah.
fact that he takes and he goes through like 16 different shows that he puts himself as part
Yeah.
of, because he talks about being in the theater as a little kid and saying he could do all that. So he won on stage and like the cast would come up and he would throw on a little piece of a costume and all of a sudden become them. And then like at one point, like out of nowhere, they throw a leopard shawl over his shoulders and becomes Barbara and Funny Girl. And then he does my favorite, which he does the nervous breakdown scene. And so he does a little bit of "Don't Worry Not My Parade," but it leads right into Mama's Turn from Gypsy.
From Gypsy,
Oh.
yeah.
The nervous breakdown from Gypsy. And then he's just all of a sudden catches himself. He's like, "Oh, I've just ruined the Tonys."
Yeah, and he's, what just happened? Did I ruin it?
That
Did
got
I-
away from me. Did I ruin it? Did I go?
and as it turns out, he plays that mental breakdown very, very well because leading up to that, I was searching through the YouTube and I found a clip from the Tonys when he won for One Man, Two Governors.
Uh-huh.
And the tiny little, it's only like a minute and 30 seconds long, the clip that he did there. And it's a one man like mental breakdown where he ends up like on the floor.
Yeah, he's very
Just
talented. And
really
it was
good.
a very, very good, very good opening. Another
Yeah.
solidly written and
Well, I would look at. In fact, we might even. Well, no, we don't. No, tonight we do not have time to watch it. I have other things going on.
Yeah, too
very
much.
busy.
Marina.
It's long too.
Oh, okay. I know one important thing that you did.
I did something very important.
Okay.
New sneakers.
What are you thinking about? Is that hat
Oh,
new?
that.
Is that hat
Oh,
new?
No, it's not.
And what's with
Kidnap the dog.
what's with the I tried thing on your shirt?
I tried to give blood today.
Oh,
I tried to give blood today. Aaron was successful. I was not successful.
why is that?
So I failed.
What would you like to share with the world as to what, or is this a personal thing?
No. I just hadn't. They can only take it because they use like a jackhammer to take that shit out of your arm, I believe. And I couldn't. I'm always anywhere that I've gone, I'm like, take it out of my hand because I have bigger vein. Just take
Right.
it out of my hand. And they're like, we cannot do that. Because apparently, if they have to use the butterfly needle, they'll be here all day. Like, we would have been there forever. So
Oh.
they refused. They're like, nope.
Oh.
So they have to go in here, and they couldn't find. I said, you're not going to find anything. And they said that they looked and looked, and so now I have an appointment Friday. because I have to drink like 84 gallons of water and
to bloat
take
it
an aspirin
up a
before-
little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just what I need is to bloat up a little
Take
bit.
an aspirin.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Vasodilator. Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
listen.
I was surprised because everything was like, "Have you taken aspirin? Have you taken aspirin?" And
Is the whole goddamn thing sponsored by Bayer? I don't
Well,
know.
no, but I mean, but
No,
it'll also
because-
make you bleed more. So.
exactly.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, that's. I was
So-
trying to think of which way they're going, but it'll make you bleed easier.
Yeah. So Erin has
heads
her
up, if you're getting a
sticker
surgery,
on.
don't take aspirin.
Erin
that's
has
true.
her sticker on, and I don't. Erin, they have to take it from my hand, or I will lose my mind. So I was really a nervous mess about doing that, but anyway, I wasn't as nervous a mess because I'm like, well, I know why I'm doing this,
Right.
And quite frankly, I had I had apologized to you about
Oh, absolutely not. Stop. There was
but
nothing to take
it
offense
was
with.
the idea that I still wasn't trying to be thoughtless.
But I am the right person to ask.
I know, but it just bothered me. I had asked Al about, my mom is on like a Z-Pack and taking prednisone, and she wanted to know if she could go. And in the heart of all of this, on Sunday, I sent Al a message that said, "Do you have any idea if with Z-Pack?" And his response was, "I don't know. Basically, I'm a gay guy. I can't do this."
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I just
and
stopped.
I just took it as like first I took it as she thought well, maybe I had something, I did something with blood donations that I never
Yeah,
have.
no.
And then second, I've never donated blood, so
I
the
honest to
band's
God,
been on since I've been.
I put my phone down and I just bawled.
Oh, and I felt
have
terrible
been
about that 'cause it
fucking
certainly
mess
was not how
about
it
it
was
for the
intended.
last couple days because just thinking about that and how just unacceptable.
Oh, the fact that you asked somebody who couldn't donate,
right,
is that
and
what it was?
I wasn't.
You know he
thinking.
doesn't take it that way.
No, but it.
I mean, she's a
because
bitch all
of
the
being-
time.
And but
That's reason enough not to take his blood.
There and cheers. That's a good call.
You want a
if
pint of
I knew
this?
your name, you could be offended.
It might be a
that's
little
right.
bit more like vinegar than
Maybe,
blood, but all right.
They're like, we're
I
not
found the
taking
blood.
that
It's
out.
behind the vodka.
That's fair.
blood.
That's fair.
You know, it just.
Your
but
blood
it-
speaks French. Is it the wine?
We're gonna have to filter this through an old Hawaiian
I know,
shirt
right?
and just squeeze the blood out.
It's the champagne of blood.
It really,
Exactly.
literally,
It's from
the champagne
France.
of
It's
blood.
from France.
Mostly because it's
Hi,
champagne.
Richard.
Mostly 'cause it's
Richard is joining us. From
Richard!
Quebec. Hi, honey.
Oh, Richard!
You know, but it did, and we've talked about it in here before, but it just brought it back home. How much that is the most insane fucking thing in the world. Well, that and how many people truly still don't know.
They don't, and I found that out that morning.
Now,
and that's how my rage started. Was I got, and I don't know what kind of weird fucking thing I'm
We've
on.
missed
that,
you too, Richard.
Then I got some kind of a mass email early in the morning at work,
Oh.
and it might have been a work email, but
It
it was
was
something about
early in the morning.
like send messages out to like people that you've worked with, travel nurses, blah blah blah. Like just get the word out that blood donations are going to be really necessary. And I read that, and I was like, well, that's kind of. I've never gotten anything like that before. And then, and this is when the rage started, Marco fucking Rubio was on CNN, like,
I saw
talking,
it
like,
in it.
ran to the site to get some camera time, which I don't know why else he'd be there. He quit this, he's quitting the Senate. And then he put the call out for blood, and it
Has
just...
he passed the deadline to
it
not
just... Well, he'll be, I guess one of the problems is he's going to be, if he did, he would be primarying his friend that he recommended for the job. So he'll be
That doesn't
Jeb
seem like a
Bushing
dick
someone
move,
else.
right.
It doesn't seem like a dick move at all.
Like
Not
throwing your
for-
hat
not
in the
for
ring
Rubio.
when your
Takesies,
mentor
backsies.
is running to run
Right.
directly against your mentor for the Florida vote. So he's kind of used to that. Well, the other dick move was standing there. I don't know. It just struck me as wrong. And then when he was the first one to put out the call for blood, and I was like, not only is he here claiming to be you know what I mean, like standing near people he just openly despises, but now he's asking people for blood to a community that's not allowed to donate blood.
right.
Right.
And I was still at work, like watching the TV, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a shitty morning.
Oh, honey.
I'm like, this is gonna go wrong
This
fast.
can't go anywhere.
Well, and one of the things that just so
hopefully
people
that's one thing that might come out of this is that now that cry has been heard
for
far
those
and wide.
for those of you that aren't familiar with what Al's talking about, and in other countries that you listen to this, you may not be familiar with this. This is what he's talking about. It takes a year of abstinence for a gay man to donate blood. That's what
and that's as
that's
of 2014. That's
that's
29
more-
years
that's-
later.
That's recent, and it takes 3 days to buy a gun. So that's just one of the.
I think it's more recent than 2014.
It's
I think
ridiculous.
It,
last
yeah, it was
December.
last year. It
No.
was just last year.
Now I have a
that
question though.
happened.
I thought it was 2014.
Wasn't there?
But it is really recent
There's a
because
reason. There's a reason
the
that I know
band that was dropped in like 85.
okay, you
Yeah.
you give your reason, and I have a question.
Well, because in not actually reading the articles that people repost, someone on my newsfeed decided to repost that the headline said, and it was from CNN, that gay men could now donate blood. And he says, oh, something wonderful to come out of this tragedy, blah, blah, blah. When you click on the article, it's from December 2015, and it's about the 1 year abstinence.
Abstinence,
It's
yeah.
about that regulation
So you can be
change.
gay,
that's-
you just can't do anything
right.
about it.
So that's when it was
You watch Hamilton.
that's
Jesus.
It's almost like sucking a dick.
so close.
Christ.
Or whatever you ladies do.
Right.
Or whatever the rest of the alphabet's up to.
Nearly as satisfying, and I usually don't need a shower afterwards. So
Then you're doing it. Then you're doing it wrong.
Then you're doing it wrong, exactly.
watching Hamilton,
Dale,
No,
hi,
if you do
honey.
something, you don't need a shower afterwards. It's
Hi,
like
Dale.
I
enjoy
I can listen
enjoy
to
a shower.
Hamilton and remain reasonably.
I don't need it to be a
clean.
90-minute shower, but anyways,
So-
that's a whole different
So
topic.
what was it?
Hey,
what was
hey.
your
Question,
question?
yeah.
with-
My question was am I mistaken, or during 9/11 wasn't there a reprieve on that?
No.
I thought something had happened where they were like, okay, for now, just because we're in a dire need.
And then they ended
No,
up
I think
not,
people just started
they,
lying
they ended up really
exactly.
not,
Oh,
and they
okay.
ended up not needing a lot of blood.
because not a lot of
Because
people
not a lot
live.
of
Because they
people
just
lived
didn't
through it,
live.
Right. Right. Yeah, and so just
But
that
this
whole,
call for blood is still on though. So if you live near Florida, you know people in that area, that call for blood is still going
Yeah.
because the people in surgery are still
That's right.
using
Needing,
up
right.
the blood bank, and now it won't be so. Now they just need all types.
Now,
That's
that
Right.
that day they needed like universal donors.
Well,
Universal.
and that's the hard part because I don't know. I don't know what
Does
what I am, and I won't find that. Well, and
Yeah.
everybody in the chat
Well, you're
room
apparently
and right
never gonna
here,
find out.
Shut the fuck up. Saturday I will, or
okay.
Friday I will.
Now, to that point,
Drink all that water.
let's say you lived in Seattle. Don't know why you'd want to live in a depressing gray city with a lot of rain, but you
lovely
do.
some days.
A few days a year.
Grey's Anatomy.
Let's just say you lived there. You lived in L.A., San Diego, Phoenix, Timbuktu, wherever the fuck. Can you donate? And do you know how that network works? Do they then say, "Look, I got a buttload of fucking blood in San Diego. Let's fly it to Orlando"? Do
I
they
think
do
that's
that or
the
no?
problem is the buttload of blood.
Okay.
I think that's where they might have an issue.
No.
From what they're saying.
Wow, yeah, it is almost literal.
From what they're saying, I
No, but I'm
think
saying,
that's the
does
issue.
does that network work that way? For
Yes.
example, I
Yeah,
know
but-
that if a kidney is found in New York and you need it in Phoenix, they'll fly it. They do that. I
It's
get
what that's
that.
more regional.
They
It,
take
it
their
probably
beer out of their
stays
coolers,
more
put in a
regional.
liver, and
Yeah.
get on a plane.
Get on a plane. Like organs are more regional most of the time.
Okay.
Like there's regions and stuff like that. Blood, I think they can get it somewhere. It does have a
Does it have a shelf life?
has a shelf life.
Okay. I knew it had a shelf life. I just don't know what that is.
So, and I don't, but I'm sure they can because I know.
'Cause I would think-
I know I've worked on nights where we've emptied the blood bank.
And maybe Dallas
So-
Isn't
is a
that
little
something?
like
Yeah.
in proximity to Orlando. Maybe Dallas is better because obviously it's from San Diego to Dallas and Dallas on over. But I'm saying I would think that other areas in that region, just because you're not in Orlando, doesn't mean you can't donate blood, and they couldn't get it there.
And that's why I'm
to help.
assuming. And they were saying like donate blood.
Well, and if it's coming from close areas, then like we could maybe take it from here to New Mexico, and New Mexico's
Yeah.
taking it to.
I mean, it would be interesting,
Oklahoma, I
and I'll
mean.
ask. I mean, I don't work there. I mean, I can ask somebody at the blood bank. I'd be happy to do that, but I just call them and tell them, we
yeah,
need blood.
I feel
I
like
wish we
they
could-
take. I feel like they take like organ donation, but not. I don't feel like they take blood.
I
donation.
know
but
one-
I honestly
Across
don't know if
flying
an
it.
emergency if they.
I
if
know
they
one
would.
person I could call and ask that question of, but you don't like him, so I won't do it.
No. No, that's not true.
Well, I'm not going to say who it is.
Good
No.
call. But that was anyway. So there's that, and it's just really obviously
Politically
sparked
annoying
such
as a person, perfectly fine.
Oh, different. Okay.
Oh yeah. Just
We may call
politically
it.
just to
annoying.
spark such a debate.
Whoops. Yes.
Everything's a
More
debate
than
this
but I
week.
mean more than it just adds another
Yeah.
piece to it that anyway.
Everything's a
and-
debate. I was at Starbucks earlier. I sneezed. Somebody said, "God bless you." I said, "Don't force your God on me." It was a whole Everything's a thing this week.
By the way, speaking of that, I have a meme that I saved a few memes that came up on the face because I've been sharing shit like right and left like you.
Yeah.
This one I thought was kind of funny. Feel free to read it and enjoy it. I just think that's fun.
Yeah.
Clever.
Right?
I just think because it's like Quit living in this little fucking world. Pay fucking attention. Come on.
And here we also have in this wonderful, horrible story, the fact that now we have the answer to what if someone there was armed. Well,
Right.
there was someone there armed, and it just
Didn't matter.
It
went,
just turns into a shootout.
Didn't matter.
it went just as badly,
Yeah.
if not worse.
Yeah.
Driven back into the building by the hail of bullets.
Yeah.
So who knows? Who knows? You know what I mean?
No.
Who knows? But now for all those people that are like, oh, if everybody was armed, well, there was an armed security guard out there that called 2 cops right away, and it still went fucking
Still
wrong.
went wrong.
So
And then was a hostage
just to let you
negotiation
know,
and took
if you're-
hours.
If you're having trouble with that argument with someone on your Facebook that you haven't
However,
deleted yet, or they haven't deleted you,
if he wouldn't have had an automatic assault rifle on him, probably would have been an entirely different outcome.
Seriously, mass
shoots-
shootings with muskets, a whole different scenario.
weird,
really
yeah.
is.
And what is
Throwing
it? 30?
rocks
Is it
and,
30.3 or 30 something like that bullets a second that fucker can
Honestly, I
shoot?
don't know. It makes sense.
No, I read that
It
today and I'm like,
makes sense.
no, they played because,
Wow.
and now the thing is, everybody's, oh, they're so stupid. They're calling them semi-automatic weapon. Like, there's all this
Okay.
wording
Here's-
that, like,
here's
Seth
the difference.
MacFarlane is all, well, oh, he's so stupid because he's calling it the wrong thing. But Rachel
Go ahead,
Maddow
yeah, go.
put on the actual commercial. She aired it today
Oh.
for the weapon.
oh,
Ah, good.
She was like, this is probably very disturbing to people. She's like, but I want you to know how you got something this big into a club past a doorman. And then, like, one of the highlights is that it folds up.
Uh-huh.
oh.
It's collapsible.
Because I
Yep.
wondered about that. I'm like, if you see him walking across the lot, because one of the guys on TV said, we saw him in the parking lot and we said hi. Like he just had a funky hat on, some hat with a lower, whatever the hell that hat was. But they're like, we said hi in the parking lot, and he just walked normal. Like, we didn't know anything. Now that you said that, because I kept wondering,
Yeah,
where the
that
fuck are
makes
you going to
sense.
hide
Right.
that?
Yeah,
How do you
the-
do that?
So,
Yeah. So a couple of things have happened. Now, when you're on social media, people are going to say, oh, we already banned assault rifles. It didn't work. Hang on. And then they're going to say, oh, well, the ones that they did ban in the most recent assault rifle ban was purely cosmetic. They're going to say the words purely cosmetic to you. Now, the things that happened in 1994 in the United States, they banned what we're calling semi-automatic assault rifles. Now, what makes it semi-automatic is you have to pull the trigger each time a bullet goes out. A fully automatic weapon is not legal for civilians to buy without special, like, literal congressional approval. Okay? So if I wanted to go buy...
Clive Bundy has one.
Right.
Okay.
Cliven.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go buy a fully
Get
automatic
the asshole's
rifle...
name right, so that we know.
I
which
would
asshole.
have to find someone in government, the governor, my congressperson, like literally congressional approval to buy a fully automatic weapon. A fully automatic weapon fires guns until you stop pulling the trigger. That's what you're shooting when you're playing the video game. Okay?
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
you're just holding the button down
Right.
and it just keeps shooting when you're playing the game, that's an automatic rifle or
Okay.
gun of any kind. So semi-automatic's what we're talking about. The ones that were banned for 10 years before the ban lapsed,
Thank you, George W. Bush.
gun enthusiasts.
He actually, that meme is dishonest too. He was for keeping it on the Republican Congress at the time. Let it expire.
Let it go.
No, but I'm saying it's under his watch.
Right. But he, in his defense, he was for keeping the ban up.
Oh.
And my folder, which I've called guns,
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that folder.
is growing, and I'm learning. So some of the features that were banned that were affecting the banned weapons from 1994 to 2004 were things that make it easier to kill people. They were things like scopes collapsing or telescoping,
Barrels.
not barrels, the butts.
Yeah.
So yeah, the SIG that this man brought into the club was collapsible, like folded right up, would fit under a big coat or a big sweater.
Which should look weird on
Right.
a Miami June night.
Right.
Sure.
Agreed.
I don't know what he was wearing.
But in
had
my
to-
mind, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fairly early in the now 48-hour news cycle, I was like, and I don't need more.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow, that's
I
interesting,
don't need
Amina.
more.
That's interesting. Amina just wrote in the chat room, responding to Jenny in the chat room. I heard that as well in regards to Jenny made a comment. Apparently, you can pull a screw out to convert it to automatic. Amina replied, I heard that as well, but I can't access a gun sales website from here or I'll get arrested for terrorism. Wow.
Wow.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and that is different. Like the weapons that they issue to military personnel have a mechanism that can switch the device from automatic to semi-automatic. The weapons that are available to the public are supposedly locked into semi-automatic.
Yeah.
But still, this whole situation is different if I've got a Wyatt Earp revolver with 6 shots and then I have to stop and put more bullets in. This whole situation is different.
Oh, right.
If it's 1776 and I've got a fucking musket and it
yeah.
takes me 3 minutes to reload the fucker, and there's a good chance that if I do it too fast and wrong, it blows up in my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of backfiring
You
in
know,
the revolution.
there's a big difference between being able to fire off 100 rounds in less than a minute and maybe 6
and
rounds.
relying on a bayonet for the time that after your one shot is gone.
Right. I get
And that's
one
why you
shot.
don't give away your shot.
It's either that or me, the business end
And
of
I'll
a
try to make
bayonet.
this the last Hamilton for this hour. But
No.
in the Tonys, when they were doing the performance, there should have been musket shots.
Yes.
And the cast asked. No
Well,
one
and all the-
came to them, but the cast member said, absolutely not are there going to be sounds of gunfire in this building.
In that number, they are also holding muskets.
Oh, right.
And they did the performance
without it. Yeah. So I mean, I just thought that no one asked them to not do it. They said they're not comfortable with pointing guns at the audience, and they're
Right.
certainly not comfortable with the sound of
I don't
gunfire.
blame them.
Yeah. Which I thought was fantastic. Yeah.
Somebody again put a meme up about, it shows George Washington. It says, for fuck's sake, we were talking about musket balls, not 13.3 goddamn bullets a second.
I love when George Washington gets a little vulgar.
And you never can know about the internet if those
Wait,
are
'cause
real
sometimes he
actual
worked
quotes.
blue. Yeah,
And
exactly.
just like Lincoln, you know. You can't always trust the people on the internet,
They
according
talk
to
about
Lincoln.
his teeth, but not about his typing. He may have gotten that down.
Marnie, the other question I have for you in accomplishments for this past week, you and I spent Friday evening together.
We did.
We went to the Genius Bar at the Apple Store, one of many Apple stores across this fine land.
Right?
And after many big words that were confusing to you in regards to how networks work, my comment was, I don't think we're getting anything accomplished here. Can you hurry this up before we got accomplished what we needed? How is your computer running now?
I can't get this fucking thing.
Shut up, you bitch.
It's been fantastic. Thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, very good.
Yes, I
Good.
was going to send you a text about it, but I'm caught up in other
Yeah.
things. But yeah.
Well, I was going to shoot you one too, and I'm like, well, she's probably busy doing things on it. I'm not going to interrupt her.
No, it's had some spinnies and it's had some things, but
But you also know, I mean, there are internet outages with that too.
Absolutely.
But
Yep.
overall,
Overall, it's been great.
We're good.
yeah.
So
I have to figure out how to redo my printer on it.
okay.
Once I figure out how to do the wireless printer, then that'll be great.
Oh, that's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
I hope you won't be offended when I ask Clayton this question. What
Please
was wrong
ask
with it?
Clayton. Please ask Clayton. Watch.
The assumption was, because of course Apple swears on everything on Steve Jobs' grave, that no Apple product has ever had a virus ever and
Bullshit.
will never get a virus, which I know is
That's why I'm
bullshit.
so special. I got 2 of them.
Yeah, that's what they say. So with all of, because she had gone 3 or 4 times, and the funny thing was when he
And you're
pulled,
working on 3.
when he pulled up the serial number and all of her information, it's like, oh, you've been here before. Well, yes, that's why we're here for a 4th time, and she brought me. Because every
To get you
fucking
to
time.
speak English.
Well, that and just to get something done
Because
because
you
they.
people send her home and say, reboot
Well,
the router.
they asked her to buy other shit and do this and do that, and it's never
And
was
I
right.
finally, the guy was talking, and I looked up and I said, "Listen, I don't mean to be rude, but I have nothing right now. You're saying a lot of stuff, and I don't know what you're saying."
Yeah.
I said, "What out of the? Do I have to do something with whatever you're saying?" And he said, "No." And I looked over at Clayton. I'm like, "Now what? Like, what does that mean?"
Yeah,
He
then
goes,
why are we here?
Yeah, and then that's when Clayton's like, "Listen." And the guy was real nice. I thought he was really nice.
He was really nice, but
And I think that
I
when I
didn't
said
need the
talk
hi-
to me like I'm a 3-year-old,
Yeah.
that he really
the
took
history
it.
of the internet was not needed. We just needed, we've
Correct.
backed this up. Would you take it in the back and blow away all the software, reload it as brand new, and let's move on?
Yeah.
What had apparently happened is somewhere in that, and I do not have confirmation other than the fact that it works now. We basically took all of her data, meaning any documents,
just wiped
pictures,
it.
everything.
Yeah.
They wiped it clear, restarted everything as fresh, and amazingly, it works perfectly
Okay.
fine. So that was what it was, and I
Yes.
just was glad to get over that hump and move on. And then we went to dinner at the
parlor.
parlor and had a
That was
really
really
lovely
nice.
dinner. And all of a sudden
Yeah.
we looked there, like, oh, it's like 11:15.
Right. It was like, what time
yeah.
is
The
it?
whole night
Past
went,
your
the whole
bedtimes,
night went
look
away.
out.
Right?
Came back here, restored her computer back to everything else, and everything was good.
Yeah, it was. I had a lot of fun. Thank you.
It was.
for
It was a
going
good evening. I thought it was a fun
Yeah.
time too.
And the parlor is cute. For those that aren't from Phoenix, it's an old beauty parlor. So the dryers, the line of dryers
Yep.
is still in the back, and
very
it's just
cute.
it's just really.
I
cute.
haven't seen
That's
the
cute.
dryers.
I
I've only
didn't
been in
see
the front
those.
part.
I'm not gonna lie. I've heard that kind of thing, but
Oh.
it
Oh,
was-
all the
it
old
used
like
to be
sit
that.
underneath them dryers
Yeah.
are back there.
Did not know that. I'll
Oh,
have to
yeah.
go again because it was good. It was
really-
enjoyable.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
smell a
yeah.
photo shoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
that is fun.
oh,
There you
that's
have it.
cute.
There you have it.
Alfie,
And I think Mark is listening. So Mark, send me a text if that's still true or if they got rid of them, since I don't know how you would miss them. No, that was it. I worked, and then I worked right through. I got a text at about 11 o'clock Saturday night into Sunday morning, just
Yeah.
telling me if I was in a room where I could watch TV, and I turned on CNN and like. I was like, thanks. That's nice.
That's
And the
nice.
world
Sure.
turned upside
yeah,
down.
exactly. I happened to have a patient who was not in charge of their own TV set.
raise your hand if you don't want to watch CNN. Nope, nobody.
So I mean, and that's really just been it. Like, and then I went immobile.
Yeah. Well, I went. It was a typical week for me. It's clients this, clients that, and it's again always astounds me that people are put in charge of computer systems that don't know a thing about computer systems. That's always fun.
What a wise choice.
Wise choices for all kinds of establishments. So aside from dealing with that, I woke up on Saturday morning to a barrage of emails from our neighborhood association in regards to thefts on Friday night. And the nice thing is, I mean, we have enough people, and if you want to call them the Gladys Kravitz of the neighborhood, I don't really care. They watch shit. They pay attention to shit.
That's what you want in every neighborhood.
When I'm gone and Bee's in town, like right now across the street, Bee's out of town, and I'm watching her house, but because I hardly ever go anywhere. But if I'm gone, like even if I go to the mall or if I go somewhere, she's like, she called, your truck left, are you okay? Or if a car drives by, or if a car pulls up that's just stopped on the road just to like maybe Google something or whatever, there's a black car in front of your house. Are you home? Is there somebody there? So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But I woke up anyway Saturday
I love
morning.
her already.
They save
Woke
a
up
lot of heartache.
woke up and found out that there had been a couple of burglaries in the neighborhood on that Friday night into Saturday morning. And the people found out the guy who they were awakened
Is this
to.
the people moving out at 11:30?
No.
thing?
No,
Okay.
that would no.
Okay.
Different night. Different
Okay.
night. The one guy who had tools stolen a couple weeks ago got tools stolen again. Then there was there were four cars on another street that had sound systems taken out of them in the middle of the night. The worst one was on my block at the end of the street. They were awakened to a person in their house. To find out that person had been in the house multiple times in the previous week, accessing it through a large doggy door.
Oh, see, I can't
Yeah,
stand
the
that.
doggy door is so
I can't
so
stand
hard.
that.
So the larger doggy, now I thought of that, but I have cat doors. I have tiny cat doors.
Right.
Ain't nobody getting.
In
through
fact,
there.
one of my cats can barely get through it. I mean, he's having a struggle. Marty's got a little problem. He may have diabetes. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I had purchased and was waiting a week or so to install them for a whole different reason. So my Saturday was I'm installing fucking cameras.
Yeah.
So I did all that on Saturday and got that, and it's very interesting. The technology it's insane what it can do for you and how it can alert you and do other things.
Did you get the Costco package?
No, I actually got the Nest,
Oh, very
the
nice.
Nest cams
Oh, I
because
love Nest.
they will go with the thermostat that I will at some point buy after I sell a kidney on the black market for somebody else.
Also very. I can't believe the Nest cameras weren't god awfully cost prohibitive.
They're up
Were
there.
they?
They're up there. But the 3-pack you can buy. They give you a discount on the 3-pack, and then I just bought 2 more because they were on sale for a Father's Day special.
Very nice.
So I saved a couple bucks on that. So
Mazel tov, Daddy.
So, but the nice thing is, it makes you feel better. The other thing is, the alerts are fantastic because, again, now there are certain zones. You can take the zones and you can chart out, because I have cats. Well, they walk on the floor, mostly. I mean, sometimes they levitate through a room, but that's a whole different story. But you can chart out places so that when the cats walk through, you do not get a notification
Right.
because they're everywhere. But
do, 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 do. Marty's on the move.
right, yeah. Oh yeah, oh I get that.
Marty- like Jurassic Park.
Marty's gonna have his
aliens.
Yeah, you.
They're in the room. They're 5 meters away. That's inside the room.
The call is coming from inside the house. So it's been interesting to do that. And then you see how much activity actually goes on in your neighborhood of a day. But the other cool thing is, and now that I became another, that circle of people within the neighborhood association, one of the things that I didn't realize, and it's very nice if you have it, you find out who all the people in the neighborhood are who have cameras. So if something happens,
Sure.
you know who to go to. Hey, this
it
happened at my
together.
house. Right. Do you have camera footage of this? Can you tell me what time
drove away,
what
yeah.
drove away, when you saw, all this kind of stuff. It's very interesting to find that out, because that's one of the things that they said, that if you've got cameras, you let people know you have it, so that if something happens across the street, I got footage. Like,
Yeah,
I could see the
camera's on.
person showing up or doing whatever.
bet.
So anyway, it's just very interesting to see all of that. That was pretty cool. Of course, on Saturday night, when I finally chose to leave the house and go out for my late night beverages, it was confusing and all. When I got to Stacy's, the news alert started showing up on my phone of some incident in Orlando. Nobody knew what was going on, this, that, and the other, and it was like 20 people and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, something bad, nothing good about this. Went on about the evening, of course, and then you come home, you go to bed, and then you wake up to, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah.
And then the whole Sunday just went off the skids for me.
Yeah.
It was a super emotional day. And then, I text you about, are you functioning? Are you up and about? Because I was hungry and I wanted pancakes.
Oh.
And I'm like, I'm just going to get Al to go with me. I need somebody to talk to. And you were unconscious, which is fine, whatever. So I finally ate later, whatever I ate, whatever. And then I wanted to come watch the Tonys, but I really felt more like I needed to be out with the people in the community.
and I wasn't
Sure.
unlocking the door.
And I just stayed in the house.
So I
Because
just,
like,
so I
I would
went.
say the whole thing didn't hit me until yesterday. Like Sunday, I was busy. I was doing the Tony party. We went to a basketball game, like the whole thing. So none of it actually sunk in until Monday anyway.
Yeah, and I wasn't even thinking that anybody was coming over, because she texted me. She's like, "Oh, I hope you're not expecting me." I'm like, "Oh, I haven't even showered."
just in case it was one of
Yeah,
those, like, 'cause
yeah.
it'll be my luck if I don't say something.
yeah,
And
and
then I was
So
like,
I was like,
I
"Oh, I
just
didn't even."
can't. I
I'm
need
like,
to
"Oh no,
process."
this is not pleasant. This is not going to be
So I-
pleasant for anybody to watch."
Now is not the time.
I got up that morning and who the fuck is this dumbass?
Ooh.
Oh, I'll share the tweet in a minute.
Oh.
It's not good. So I woke up that morning and I watched the news, and then I wrote something. If you follow me on Facebook or you happen to see it, you saw what I wrote. I actually sent the text to my mom today so that she could read what I wrote. And then, like I said, I want to just be around our community. I want to be around the people. So I went to Stacy's and I just chilled there, and they were doing a vigil that night. There was one at the community center downtown at 7 o'clock, and then at 8 o'clock they were doing one at Stacy's. And the interesting thing was, out of all of the gay bars in town, every news channel was at Stacy's. Every
Yeah.
one of them.
What's the closest one?
For 3 and 5, it's just down the street. They didn't go to Charlie's, which why? Anyway, I enjoyed the fact that they were there. Mark Martinez reached out to me the other day to try to figure out how to get a hold of Stacy, so I put that all together. So Tim did it yesterday, and apparently in the interview, when they supered underneath the names, because it was Pat O from Bunkhouse and Stacy Lewis, and they reversed them and called them each by the wrong name. And so Stacy today was like, "Well, I got heavier and older." Yeah. But during that whole time, it was
I think Stacy's just looks better on a visual than
Oh no.
than Pat.
no. Than,
Oh, the
than
bar
Charlie's.
itself. Yeah. Oh, it does.
Like
'cause
I think
you
that
got the
Oh,
sign.
yeah, it's
because
pretty-
I
it's
watched
prettier outside,
I
it's
watched that
prettier
clip and it
inside.
looked it's just
Yeah.
I think it's just a
standing in
nicer
front of
thing
that nice scripted sign and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If only I had been working, because Cobalt has not only the room,
Yeah.
the beautiful
Oh, I'd
theater.
like to show. Actually, Cameron, let's take a look. Oh,
They're
look
staying
at
strong
that.
there. Look at that.
Look at
Cobalts,
that.
they are very busy
They're
with
busy.
their strongness there.
I'm determined this weekend to take photos with people actually.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
good. Give me that.
That's gonna happen.
And
So-
Amina has something up there about forgetting that Pulse was a Latin theme night, and
It was.
And I don't know. I've been surprised by that as well. That has not come up as much.
It's
It's been a smattering
Yeah.
of
Right.
of different things that people will put on, but not.
well. Plus,
that
you weren't
hasn't pinpointed.
sure because a Latin night would attract these two gentlemen
Oh,
here.
absolutely.
So you weren't. I
Right.
wasn't sure like how they meant it. I wasn't thinking in terms of.
No, I agree.
Especially
with
in
that.
Orlando, I wasn't. You know what I mean? I was expecting it to be like elderly white gentlemen looking for Latinos to love. You know what I mean? That's how I took Latin night.
Was that what this was?
I certainly didn't Miami it and
Yeah,
think it was going to
sure.
be like Latins coming to Latin night. I didn't take it. You know what I mean? I just
Oh, sure.
I had the wrong impression of
Okay.
what they might be doing, and they weren't showing pictures or names until yesterday. So it
Right.
really wasn't.
Sure.
I was thinking from it's pretty much a Latin bar is what I got on. But but again, it's Florida,
Yeah, it
so
was
it's
all
a different
different nights, right.
So it's like here we have a very large population of Hispanic people.
Sure.
So. What are the, you know what I mean?
Right.
What, does
it's
it
not
make
like
a
you
difference?
have a German night or
Right,
something.
right.
There's
Thank you.
sauerkraut
That's
and
what I'm trying to
brats.
stumble my way through.
Right.
I mean, they do have Irish night
Scalloped
once
Why
a
don't
year.
we
Brats.
have a German night?
Right.
So to wrap up all of that, I was at Stacy's and they were having the
You're not
vigil.
gonna have sex after you eat a hot dog, mostly.
The vigil,
Or a kraut.
and I felt Stacy made me feel very honored. He asked me to speak at the vigil, which was interesting. So he had me read what I had written earlier that day, and the whole thing that my point was, and it's a lot of the youth today, and it wasn't directly because of what happened or with tied into what happened, but so many people jump in with others that they don't know and trust them infinitely. For example, you just meet somebody at a bar. You met them 5 minutes ago and you've had one beverage together. You don't know them. That doesn't mean you need to jump in the car and go home with them, because we've heard many a story that somebody takes somebody home, beats the shit out of them, steals all their stuff, and they're gone,
Oh, yeah.
or murders them or whatever.
It's
It's just a pay attention to what's around you. Quit jumping in and out of relationships. Quit going and hooking up with everybody and their brother online. That's what my take was on it. I know it's not the same as the shooting. I mean, Grindr's not going to prevent that. I get that, but it's the fact that just pay the fuck attention. So many people are complacent and just think that everybody's safe where they are. You're not.
Yeah, and when I first came out, and I was 15 years old. I was what now would be considered like too young to even go see go to movies by myself. But I was at a gay bar, and a friend of mine was very clear. Like, if you're gonna do something, if you're gonna leave this building to go to the parking lot, you walk that person by us. Like, you don't need to introduce us. You can do the walk of shame, but we need like eyes on the person. And we can at least warn you, since we've been coming here for a while, like, no, that one's a crazy person.
Right.
Like, just no need for introductions, but we'll stop you. Like, do the parade, walk them past, get our attention, and we'll let you know whether
One thing that
does that we're all seeing with the same people.
Oh, no.
But
one thing that
Welcome to gay community.
but it really was, and I didn't think of it because I was young and I was new to everything. Now I think of that of like, well, that's so safe. Plus, if something happened, they had a description of what the fuck happened to me. You know what I mean? This was 83.
Sure.
the Stay Strong logo that you see in the center of our screen, if you'll notice, the Pulse logo from the bar is in the upper left-hand corner. That was created by Stacey Lewis, who owns the bar that you've heard us talk about 100 times. He's been on this show. Stacey Lewis created that, and then he distributed that. He printed a bunch of them up, distributed them all over town to gay restaurants, bars, and even gay allies, straight allies. So everything all over the city. So I just wanted to give him a shout out to this. So the Stay Strong thing, poster made by him. So if you want to give a shout out to Stacey, do so. Facebook.com, Stacey's at Melrose. If you want to find him and give him a shout out for that. What he's doing is he printed up a bunch of them. They're going to be available tomorrow at his bar. He's asking for a $5 donation. They are collecting cash for Equality. I want to say, is it Equality Florida? Is it Equality Orlando? Something to that effect. So
the GoFundMe. I know we need to find the link to that
it's
GoFundMe page.
but this one isn't to the GoFundMe. It's to the Equality Company or anything there. But the GoFundMe, I looked today and I meant to look at it. Their goal is $5 million. As of this afternoon, they're at 3.8. They've raised more money faster than any other GoFundMe apparently ever.
And JetBlue offered to fly relatives.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow!
free.
For free to Orlando. There were many
That's cool.
many of the people were their families are still in Puerto Rico.
Sure. Wow, that's great.
And Disney donated $1 million. NBC Universal had done something
Oh, I didn't
because
hear about
someone
that
that
one.
works for NBC and then someone that works at the Harry Potter rides at Universal Studios was a victim, and so I
get that's the connection. All right.
I didn't read what they had done, but they were doing something for the fund as well.
Okay.
The GoFundMe for Orlando is currently at $4,000,000.
Wow.
$46,438.
Got it. Can you shoot me a link to that?
I
I'll
can.
put it up
And
on
not to
our
politicize it, but the governor of Florida is one of the ones that didn't allow the Medicare expansions and Obamacare.
Right.
So these are people that have
no care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Yep.
will amount to gigantic medical bills.
another meme that came up today, just as I'm waiting for Kat to give me this this link, was this one. And this, I think, it says a lot right here. The fact that our flag is not a white flag. You've just pissed off every homo in the fucking world, and we're not done. We're not going to back down from this.
And that's what I mean about how fast that word got back to the blood bank that day. Like how shitty that was perceived by the American people for like they've had a test for HIV in the blood since 1985. Like we're 30 years later,
And still.
and whether or not it helped, but the CNN documentary about AIDS was actually on last Thursday. So
Yes,
whether
it
that
was.
added to the news
Yep.
and people being aware of the fact that there's been a blood test for the blood bank for 30 years, like whether that just sunk in of like, wait, we didn't fix that?
Yeah.
So that may be the fastest thing to change out of this whole thing is the American Red Cross and I can't think of other people.
Well, I don't know if you.
I can't think of their name.
I don't know if you.
FDA?
I don't know if you saw what
FDA
I.
has to
Is
do
it
it
the
too,
FDA?
yeah.
I don't know if you saw what I posted earlier today because again I was on fire posting all kinds of shit right and left. In regards to that, it takes a year of abstinence for a gay man to donate, and it takes 3 days to buy a gun. My post said wrong priorities America until of course it happens where it's like, well, we tried to save your wife, sir, but a guy with track lighting was the only one willing to donate blood, so we had to let her die.
Yeah.
Because they're all it's okay. And we ban them. But wait a
Yeah.
minute, it's going to affect me. Oh no, give me the blood. Give me the
Yeah.
blood. Oh no, you can't have it because you voted and you all decided that gay people couldn't donate blood for whatever reason. So nobody wants to talk about it until it really affects them, and then they're all like, "Oh shit."
Well, I mean, it's the Nancy Reagan rule.
Oh yeah,
You're oh my God, stem cell research is the worst thing in the world till Uncle Ronnie's got
Right.
got a little touch of the
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's and
Yeah.
Right.
give me the fetus, I'll get it.
yeah.
Wasn't he
I'll
canonized?
pull it out
Isn't
myself.
Saint Ronnie?
It, well, I can't acknowledge that canonization, so I still keep him at Uncle Ronnie. But and Joe brings up a wonderful point about the just the around the world tributes. London,
Everywhere.
Every city.
Everywhere. You're right, Joe. It was on every building that they could light up. Everywhere. It was
And
fantastic.
the sea of people in, was it London, I think?
London
that
was the one that the crowd would.
I,
And
again,
Paris with
another
the Eiffel
just lost
Tower
it.
lit up,
Just-
and it had to piss out. You know, Middle America, the people in Iowa were losing their fucking minds. That the Eiffel Tower was the gay flag, and in the center was a tiny little American flag.
Oh yeah, I saw
Even
that.
I thought, well, oh. So they get the
funny.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The governor of Florida won't say the word gay or LGBT,
Yeah,
but
that's what you had said. I hadn't seen that yet.
oh yeah,
Or-
oh you got to watch
I
him
hadn't
dance.
missed that part. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to watch that fucker dance. Watching Daddy dance.
Got it.
I don't know if anybody else saw this one today. This I thought was kind of interesting. The same people who take out to politicize the deaths of 50 people in Orlando are still politicizing the death of 4 people in Benghazi.
Yeah.
Right.
After millions of dollars have been spent on, I assume millions or hundreds of thousands, just a lot of fucking wasted
Now,
time.
do you think that
Isn't
the head
that a
of the
lot-
FBI is going to have to go through the same grueling kind of testimony as Hillary did for the Benghazi, since they
Oh.
had this guy in their radar?
Right, they
and
interviewed him
knew,
a few
and-
times.
Yeah,
and-
I mean, maybe, like, is that the same thing? Because that's the absurdity.
But remember-
that's the absurdity.
Wife abuser, which we've been fighting for years.
Domestic violence.
Domestic
Big
violence
time.
doesn't get you off the gun buyers list.
Nope.
Used
to.
Being investigated by the FBI.
Right.
Second time
No,
you're investigated
twice.
by the FBI
Right.
doesn't
No.
get you off it.
No.
No, none of these
Yeah.
things.
No fly list.
No fly list.
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
Still can buy a gun. I was just reading before the show started an article, and I'll have to find it again because it looks like I've closed it, about a woman in Philadelphia. It took her 7 minutes to buy an AR-15.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
She walked into a gun shop,
Come on.
asked the gun owner, "What does it take to buy one of those?" Because it was the gun of the week, on special.
Gun of
Yeah,
the week.
gun of the week.
You're-
and the
you're
AR-15
lying
now,
about that.
Sadly, I'm
Yeah.
sure you're correct.
the AR-15 is similar to the gun used in Orlando. It's not the same gun.
Okay.
But anyway, still of the same class. She walks into the gun shop, asks the gun owner, "Hey, that gun how much is that gun in the window?"
How much is that gun in the window?
He
Bang,
says,
bang.
"You got ID?" She says, "Yeah."
Shut up.
He says, "All right, we just have to do the paperwork." 7 minutes, she said, from the time
Oh
she
my
handed
God.
him the ID to the time that she walked out the store with
Wow.
an AR-15 in her hand.
Yeah, because the waiting period is only for the handgun. There was a very interesting interview or press conference, whatever you want to call it, because he didn't take a lot of questions with the owner of the guy that
Right, the gun
sold
shop.
the
The
gun.
gun shop.
Right.
And that's when I was like, wow. So anything that we're offering up as reasonable reasons to not allow, waiting
Right.
periods,
Sure,
cooling up, except for
sure.
the assault rifle doesn't have a waiting period. It's just the handgun.
Yep.
He passed every single one
Passed all of them.
because of a couple things.
Bought
that were
the
not
guns
on.
legally. He walked in on June 4th. He walked into the gun shop and bought something else on June 5th. He walked back in on June 9th and bought his ammunition.
All perfectly legal.
Yep.
So I mean, there's just.
Here is the
But the best part is if, and this is
Yeah.
awful,
I'm with you,
awful,
man.
is if he's gay.
I know.
that with Grinder and Jack have both confirmed that he's in their system. Now they're going through all of his electronics and phones and so forth, and all the other people
But
who
it's
are
one
like,
of the worst insults you can
Oh,
like.
it
It
is, yeah.
really is like
no, I understand that.
to go
but
to your grave slandered in that way.
Yeah.
yeah, you've done a lot
According
of
to
injustice.
them, you know what I mean? Not to
Sure,
us.
yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like
And what are you
calling,
trying to-
it's
are
like
you
calling
making
me
it
a cunt
better?
or a bitch. Like, well, thank you,
Yeah.
kind sir.
Kat sent me the link to the GoFundMe page, and I don't know if you put the link in the chat room or if you could. This is the current page. They're looking for $5 million. I think they're going to blow that out of the water. They're a little over $4 million right now.
But what's the site to donate?
GoFundMe. It's the GoFundMe site, but it's what do you
just
look
put
at? Because
supporting
I
victims?
already noticed that there were a few different ones.
Hang on. The GoFundMe page is at
Sure.
gofundme.com/Pulse Victims Fund.
Okay.
I will actually put that on.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and you're right. That senselessness.
/
The,
Say
the
it again,
idea,
Kat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pulse Victims
Okay.
Fund.
I think that was the part because at first it was this a hate crime? Right? It was a terrorism.
And it's probably
and a hate
his
crime.
own self-loathing just being expressed with the
Absolutely.
worst possible
Yeah.
things. But
Absolutely.
I mean, the other thing is just dead and now being labeled that way is like some closet case. Just
Sure.
it's awful. And Aaron brings up.
I know. I love
Amin is
that.
now paraphrasing.
Yeah. We
Hamilton.
Queens get that done.
It's a
I
new
love
hour.
it.
I'm allowed to say it
Yeah.
again. Aaron brings up a good thing that if it had started off as a gay person killing other gay people, it would have
Yes.
been like Newtown. The Newtown tragedy
Yep.
is now like the guy that was the sheriff in the Oregon believed it was a hoax.
Right.
He thought it was all
Right.
dreamed up. That none of those kids are dead. All of those families are faking it. This would have gone the same way.
Sure.
But it was, it gets, because Newtown's not a terrorist attack. No
No,
one there
oh,
was
no, no, no,
terrorized.
no, no,
They
no,
were
no,
not. They were
no.
they felt no terror. All they kept thinking was, "Thank God he's white," as they died.
Yeah.
That was their only words. Was, "Oh, he's a white guy." Jesus.
Well, that's what I said right when I saw it. I was like,
Yeah.
"Man, if he hadn't been white.
Yeah. So I mean, it really does. And again, who gets to you just have to stay on this so it doesn't get whitewashed in a little while, because that these
Exactly
stories
right.
change. And when I found out that people said that Newtown was
Fictitious.
fictitious and a
I
hoax,
know it.
I'm like, how disgusting do you have to be? And then I found out, well, you have to be the victim of that son. And then just
Yeah.
because I don't know if we want to get off this or not get off this. There's a public service announcement with all kinds of stars in it talking, and I think they're saying like, when is it enough? When is it enough? When is it enough? It's a black and white ad full of
Yes,
stars.
it's brilliant.
Made a while ago, and I was reading
Yeah.
the comments below it because it's older, and this is absolutely horrible, but they were saying like, oh, we'll never forget Louisiana, we'll never forget Louisiana, and I was like, what the fuck happened in Louisiana? I couldn't even remember.
Hurricane Katrina.
No, it's about
Oh.
mass shootings.
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
Couldn't even.
Oh, are you talking about the theater? In the theater.
Oh, is that where that-
Amy, funny.
Oh, you were right. This happened.
Schumer?
No.
Schumer, thank you.
Yes, that's where Amy
Schumer's
Schumer
movie.
came out. Right. It was, remember, because Bobby Jindal
yeah.
was the one.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's how many.
Wow.
There have been
So fucking
Well,
many.
and we had, and then as I thought about it, I'm like, we had that whole conversation in here because there was a mass shooting a couple years ago in Santa Barbara, and then more recently in San Bernardino,
You're
and
right.
people in the room were arguing because you're like, no, there wasn't. Like, we're
Yes.
actually mixing them together, and we're forgetting how many mass shootings.
Right.
Right.
We're
We
to
as
the
a
point that
nation are
we
a part
can't
of.
keep them straight.
You can't
Is
keep
it-
them
is
straight.
it
You can't remember what it was.
15 during Obama's 7.5 years? Is that what
for
it is?
him to have to get up there and say it again.
15 times.
But that's only the ones that he
That's the newsworthy ones.
newsworthy ones.
Oh, okay. The bigger
Of
ones.
more than 4 or more this year. What are we at? 50?
I could do an entire show on
Guns,
50
guns.
years of U.S. mass shootings.
Yeah.
I could do
And
here are the
Meow Cow.
26 worst mass shootings in U.S. history. And half of them have happened, incidentally, since the last assault rifle ban in 2004
Expired.
Half of the 26 worst.
Wow.
Well, 27 now. 28. I don't know if Newtown's on here or not. I don't know how
Yeah,
many
I
Well,
mean, it's-
and how wonderful
But-
the Democrat that said, "I'm not going to go for a moment of silence."
Oh, Hines.
he was my-
Jim
he
or
was my
Jerry.
new
Jerry
hero.
Hines. Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
he was on Maddow too.
A hero,
And when she
yeah.
asked him, he started out all good and it ramped up. And the anger in his voice, I'm like, that is who we need fronting this bullshit.
agree.
He was very adamant about this.
And when they had that headline, initially it was like, "Whoa!"
Well, did you see?
And then you realized what it was, and you thought, "Okay."
I liked it. I don't recall if I shared it, but it was one of my favorite posts, and he does a lot of wonderful posts. Buddy Early today. One of his posts. Imagine how much worse the Orlando massacre would have been if we had not had those moments of silence after Aurora, Newtown, and Charleston.
Exactly.
Moments of
They-
silence to do a goddamn thing.
Nothing, because you're literally standing still and doing nothing.
That's
The
literally
whole
doing
point
nothing,
is,
right.
let's
The
do
irony of
nothing
that-
for one more minute. Well, let's add those up back to back. How long have we done nothing?
Yes.
Exactly
The
right.
irony of that is you're actually doing nothing.
Yeah.
Silence.
Ugh.
Yes.
I agree.
Oh, for the love of God. I only have 3 headlines to try to inject some humor into tonight's show. Marn, do you have a couple?
Yeah.
I have a feel-good story
oh my
that bridges
God.
both news and entertainment.
Are you
Wow.
feeling well or are you feeling badly today?
Yeah.
I
You have
feel
a
well.
Fever? What the hell?
She feels well.
let me just check. Rough, smooth.
Ooh.
I'm
Feeling
feeling
well.
Your feelers are working
Are you
well.
feeling badly?
You're feeling bigly. That fucktard. He says bigly one more time on my TV.
Who?
Who's saying Bigly? Is that
Trump.
somebody's name?
That's his word now. Bigly.
Oh, I stopped listening to him. I can't. Like, I just can't.
It's bigly. Bigly.
Oh my God.
Because he
What a
knows all the
fucking
best
moron.
words. Remember? He knows all,
has
the,
all the
best
best words.
words.
He knows more words than anybody.
Anybody.
And
There is no one who knows more words than he does.
He has
Even
the
bigly.
Big lead
I have
vocabulary.
great words, the best words.
Huge word knowledge.
Okay, and
My
I was,
vocabulary has expanded bigly.
I was working. I was one of my dearest friends at work, and she tries to lay low,
that.
even though she works in Lesbian Town. She lays low about her like really leftist leanings, and she's the sweet older lady. Wouldn't say boo to a ghost, but she's like my biggest fan, and just I was like, thank God for you and that fucking mouth. So then I was saying the other day about I have the best word. She's like, the biggest word in that sentence is word. And I'm like,
That's good.
oh, you should be bitchy online more
Oh,
often.
that's
We gotta
funny.
get you on our team online, not just a silent observer.
We got to get this girl in front of a crowd.
Oh, it's just
Oh,
hysterical.
I like how you think I'm going to be able to pull off playing this clip and edit to that point. Don't
Oh, you want me
silly?
to edit it down?
Well,
I
no.
can.
Well, no. No, because I can't play the file. Like I have to get it. I have to play it from there, but I have to cue it from there, and on that little bitty
Bye,
iPod, I have to
Richard.
get
Thanks
it.
for
Oh, okay. Well, then
playing.
here we've
Have
got
a
a little
good
time
night,
before we get to
Richard.
Tony's because I definitely want to play that. I'll edit it down for you.
oh, thanks
She'll
for
try.
thanks
She'll
for
do it.
hanging out with us.
I'll get,
right.
I'll get you an MP3.
So glad
Is
you
that
come
easier?
back.
Is an MP3 easier?
You just need the sound played, or did you want to play the video?
I don't care.
Is that on
just,
YouTube?
Just the audio is fine. That's the YouTube link that I sent you.
Why
Why don't I?
Oh,
Why
God.
don't you do headlines? I'm gonna edit this down
Okay.
because
send it again.
I want to play the sonnet.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So I'm
Most
gonna edit
definitely.
this down. Right. You go.
Most deaf. Or just give him the timestamp when it
That's-
starts.
Well, she did,
That's
but
what I did.
it's trying to put it on that and make it all
No,
magical.
I'm gonna
might
make
be a
it
challenge.
even easier.
all right,
I'm gonna do
okay.
the thing. It'll take me no time.
Excuse me, Marnie. Can we pull this
Jesus,
off?
nobody
I
knows
think
your
we
name.
can. I know. It doesn't matter. Tell me what you will.
Sometimes you wanna go.
Right. Let's just do this because it's
Downtown? Are we singing downtown?
Maybe.
What's going on?
Where everybody.
I want to play
goes.
Mrs. Miller's version of Downtown.
That ain't this place.
No.
Yeah, it was nice to have you, buddy.
We are almost 90 minutes in. Well, no, we're not because we started at 15 late. We are coming up on what is
Oh, and the drinking word is bigly. Just avoid that
Bigley.
too.
Oh. B-I-G-L-A-Y.
We don't have a bigger ally to the LGBT community.
In fairness,
Then
that is hard
you
to say
are
over and over
Bigly
again.
Trump. He said it once, and he shouted every letter.
Yes.
Like he was calling her Pocahontas again. It was
All right, I'm out.
All right, boys and girls, we'll be back right after this. We're going to try to get to headlines and see how that all goes. Stick with us. It's Q Talk America on a Tuesday night.
We're working bigly.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Good evening again, everybody. We are, well, I guess as effectively as the beginning of hour 2, depending on when you're listening to this. If you're listening on a...
But we started late, so we're...
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm well aware. But like later on when they're listening on the replay, it's going to be they're not going to know when the fuck this is or what it is. Who gives a shit? It is a Tuesday night. It is the 14th day of June in Phoenix, Arizona. What are you doing?
I just have this image of you thinking somebody's like, oh, it's 8 o'clock on their show. Maybe I should get some dinner.
Cat used to be
I'm listening to it at 4 a.m. in Nairobi. But
You never know.
You know,
to that
whenever-
crossover, I should make dinner.
Some people are very structured about their lives, though.
I
There
know.
might be
That's
somebody
true.
out there.
Well, that guy that she was at the
That
Tony's party.
presses
Right.
play at 7 o'clock.
Right, my friend Scott would probably like, oh well, and he listens to a lot of podcasts. He threatened to listen to ours, so
He
we'll see.
threatened to listen to ours.
Well, the conversation came up, and somebody said, "Oh, well, Scott turned me on to podcasts," and I looked at the woman, and well, I mean, one of my closest friends, and I said, "You know, I have a podcast, right? Every week, right?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I meant to listen to yours."
Oh, speaking
you.
of podcasts, that was part of when we were at Friday at the Genius Bar. First of all, I had to throw out a couple things to get this guy off the dime. One of was, I do IT for a living, and here's what you need to do.
We rebooted. Shut up.
Yeah, no, so, right. So then finally he's like, well, I think we're going to take it in the back, and we're just going to wipe it away and start. I'm like, that's what we need to
Then
do.
you got to slow clap that one.
Yeah. So finally we got that done. Well, once that was done, because during
I
the...
put some in my bowl.
During the conversation, Marnie had mentioned a few times of here's what happens. We do a podcast show, headlines, yada yada yada. Once I'm not ready for that yet. Once we got that through his head, well, once he brought it back to life and everything was fine, all he wanted to talk about was our podcast. Well, what do you do? Well, how long you been doing it? How you do it? How da, da, da. And then I talked about the whole fact it was originally an all Apple put together thing, and then we added video and PC had to be brought involved and blah 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 blah.
People are often very curious about the podcast. It's fairly amusing.
Yeah, very interesting.
He
how
had
we're
some,
doing it.
he had some good input, maybe.
I don't remember his input.
Can
I
he
just
get you
remember
down to 2 phones?
No.
I have to cancel a contract and have a breakup fee. I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to
Just
work.
fucking with
Did you get the little link thing?
Oh yes, about your story.
Yeah.
I got that.
just wanted to
I have an image to put up on the after. Yes, I got that.
Right.
Let's try this. See how it goes. I've only got 3 headlines. We're gonna make up the rest, and Al's got a feel good story, so that ought to be good. Here we go. Holy crap!
That's a headline?
No, that's the
I know,
sound.
I was like, am I next?
No, it's not. Oh shit! Hello.
Aren't you supposed to talk to that part?
Yes. Oh, babies don't come with instructions.
Chastity makes you not have a bono.
I don't know if this is the same headline, but chastity belt and a DUI. If so, that's yours.
Same.
Is that an eggplant, or are you happy to see me?
Oh, sheep run amok.
Oh, I can't. Richard Simmons, God love him.
Not a woman.
I have a lot of questions about Richard Simmons.
Really? Just now?
I've been storing them up since 1978 or 9. Whenever his goofy ass appeared on General
pretty much
Hospital, I
what's
started
happening.
Oh, I
this Dear
didn't-
Diary.
I didn't know
What
that.
is that?
I did not know
He
was
taught
a
the
chick.
exercise class that Laura went to.
Oh no, I did not know this.
Bobby and Laura went to I don't think they called it aerobics then. I think they called it like getting slimmer in the
Jazzercise.
70s.
Who's
Jazzercise,
Bobby?
and yeah,
Who's
you're right.
Bobby?
Oh my God, Bobby is Luke's sister.
Bobby Spencer.
Bobby Spencer.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I didn't know these things.
God.
What do you mean?
He
What the hell?
says-
Don't look at me like I'm a dumbass for not
Hello?
following.
And Dr. Noah Drake.
Well, I know of that
He's
dumbass.
later, though.
Yeah, he's later. And
He is
takes-
later.
and
that
back
takes-
then
He
his
was
face.
with Bobby Spencer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, And he had a good face back then, didn't he?
Well, it's melted now.
Oh, God.
Bigly.
Oh,
Bigly.
Doesn't bother me in the least.
Yeah, I don't know about Jesse's girl, but his face is gone.
Oh, I love him.
Oh, if he only had Jesse's girl. Well, they say that babies don't come with an instruction manual, but this dad may beg to differ. Brian Elliott is a software engineer and a father from the Philadelphia area. When Elliott's son Jack was an infant, his first babysitter requested instructions and any information that she might need to know about caring for his baby. The dad responded with an epically detailed email in which he later posted on Reddit. The instructions range from how to use a pacifier, quote, shove it in his mouth, there's nothing to it, to dirty diaper identification tactics, such as poop will have a distinct smell, carefully open the back and look for signs. to what if the baby doesn't poop through the diaper? Quote, if it's trivial, carefully remove the outfit. If it's a goddamn war zone, carefully cut it off with blunt nose scissors. Elliot told the Huffington...
Trauma shears that shit.
These are the lefty safety scissors. Elliot told the Huffington Post that his wife, Amy Jackson, recently rediscovered the instructions when she was going through her old archived emails. The babysitter was Amy's friend, who is a violin teacher who was at the time finishing up her PhD in Suzuki violin education, whatever the hell that is.
She's gonna have a lot of jobs.
She dealt with 3-year-olds and up, but never an infant, and never had any interest in them, and had been more or less cloistered in school for the last several years. Quote, I remember how lost Amy and I were when we brought Jack home on the first day, and I figured I should write something detailed and straightforward without being too boring to read, the dad continued. Elliot said he wanted to apply the if-then approach of operating manuals to as many messy surprises that come up with raising a baby. Quote, just the idea of looking at an infant as a device, sort of squishingly Tamagotchi, whatever the hell that is absurd enough to be funny, he told HuffPost.
Tamagotchi is a Japanese device. It was a little like keychain thing that you would feed and care for. It was
virtual
a
pets.
digital pet.
This is
Yeah.
Got
a
it.
squishy one.
It was the
Oh,
original. It was the original
Pet rock?
virtual pet. Yeah.
Today, Jack, who was the infant, is nearly 4 years old and well past those infant stages. But when Elliot saw
Still alive. Success
right,
story.
success story, that's right.
Parenting success story.
Win.
He thought it might be helpful to post the tongue-in-cheek instructions, as they were, to first-time parents. So he posted in a parenting sub-re-edit where it quickly went viral. Elliot said he hopes people who will see his email get a laugh and a little peace of mind, particularly soon-to-be parents. It also continues to say that Amy and I were terrified for much of the 9 months prior to Jack's arrival, he recalled, noting that parenting guidelines aren't always especially useful. I hope that by giving soon-to-be something this concrete and a little funny, they'll gain a little more confidence in their ability to deal with the unending nightmare of child care. If you want to Google that and find it, the instructions are rather lengthy, but they're fucking hilarious. It's almost like garden lighting, or it's like the Guy Fieri menu,
Yeah.
only from the standpoint of it's what if he pees? It's gonna be wet. Like, it's stupid
Yeah.
shit, but it's very funny that he goes through this whole diatribe of things and what if this and what if that? What if the baby cries? Figure out if is the diaper were full. You know, just kind of all things. It was really funny.
Here's what I've learned from family friends raising children. If the pacifier falls on the floor, ask yourself, what number of child is this? If it's child number 1, boil it for an hour, sanitize it, spray it with Lysol, put it in the closet, leave it for a day, give it back. If it's child number 3, leave it there for a while, pick it up the floor, stick it directly in the kid's mouth. Because the parents lost hope on anything clean being near that child about 2 years ago.
Right. When child number 2 was born.
Child number 5, pick it up, lick it yourself, put it in the child's mouth.
Yeah.
I just let the dog lick it.
Child
then put
number
it back
5,
in.
do not look for photographic evidence of this child anywhere in the house because it is...
Unless you do an annual family picture.
It's the squiggly thing that won't hold still, but neither will anybody else. So it's just the blur at the bottom. Child's 3 through 8, they're not even there.
No.
Got it. Ms. Ryer.
Right.
Got it. Did you write that? You were taking notes.
No, I'm
When
responding.
I have my
No.
dear diary, when I have my 3rd child.
No, remember
I
I've
can
told you
relax
before
about the
I work during the
pacifier.
show? I'm dealing with a retard right now. Sorry, Marty.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Well, in modern times.
Neither one was me.
In modern times.
In modern times, their chastity belt would typically, there'd be 2 reasons that this belt may be purchased. The first is by fanatical Christian parents looking to literally lock down their children's masturbation habits.
But now they can get the tent.
And the second That's right.
No, that
The
encourages
masturbation
masturbation.
tent.
That doesn't reduce it.
No, that's to keep them out of it.
No, that's not
Oh.
I mean, the masturbation tent where they're like
And
crucified
that's
in the
like on
tent, so their
cross.
hands are outside
Yeah,
the tent.
They can't get in the tent.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh yeah.
I must have been on vacation that week.
And the second is for pleasure denying, right? Where you have like bondage and dominance, sadomasochism stuff.
So you're
Well-
doing the dirty, but your
Well, you're
region
not-
is blocked up.
But you're hating it.
Right, exactly. I would assume.
But the man in the canoe is
pain.
swimming solo.
That's right. So,
Got your hood on?
He remains unstroked.
Now we're
So-
fishing.
I mean, it's
the
it's
unwashed
safe.
and the unstroked.
Certainly is
I know. I
safe.
had to wind that metaphor back.
So there was an accused drunk driver, may have had a few too many belts, including the chastity device around his privates. When Tennessee Highway
for a man?
Patrol, it's on a man. When Tennessee Highway Patrol officers pulled over Curtis Aidman on suspicion of drunk driving, they quickly realized it was not going to be a typical DUI stop.
Because he was wearing the thing from
Well, he had that.
7.
Thing.
Wow.
The 35-year-old was wearing
Seven.
some kind of red mesh see-through hose with a ribbon tied in his goatee and some kind of little skirt. Bobby Joe Higgins, an investigator for the Anderson County
Welcome
District
to Georgia.
Attorney General's office, had to explain this to the news. Wow, and a chastity belt around his privates, though they didn't notice that until later, he says. Police say Edmund smelled of alcohol and had bloodshot, watery eyes. Admitted to having 4 or
Not
5
Betty
shots.
Davis eyes.
No,
Bloodshot,
no, whole other
watery
song.
eyes.
That's right.
Different song.
That's right.
Similar.
The breathalyzer supported that he did have an elevated
It said tilt.
BAC. During the stop, officers say they also noticed a handgun in the center console. Well, you know, if you
You
can't
can
get
shoot the fucker off. If I can't get it off, I'm
if
going
I
to shoot
can't
it
find
off.
that key. But it wasn't until they took him into custody that they found out about the aforementioned chastity belt.
Aforementioned.
Aidman mentioned that he needed a key that was in his vehicle because it unlocked the chastity device he was wearing. He said one key was in his car and the other was around the neck of his driving companion, Rebecca something.
It was,
She was also visibly, intoxicated, but did not get arrested. They did manage to get the key, thankfully, though.
well, good thing for them.
You
Had
know,
to wait for her to
and
poop? How did that story end?
no, it was around her neck.
It was around her neck.
Yes.
Dear
It was-
diary,
Dear
today-
diary.
Dear diary.
I saved.
I fucked with him. I ate the key.
They're going to have to wait for that one.
I'm gonna
It's going to be a
take
story
that
about a
out.
diaper in
I
a
don't
minute.
like it. Well,
Bigly.
a quick briefing about the device, because there had to be a quick briefing about the device worn, round the drunkard's dick, as it were.
I like to read that police report.
No kidding. That would have been great. Well, and
That can't be what it says in the
despite
police
his
report.
likely shriveled penis, he was packing heat because of that gun, and therefore he was then charged with possession of the handgun while under the influence, a 9mm handgun,
A little dick.
Yeah.
a shriveled penis,
A
as it were.
shriveled penis.
Yes. So Aidman is free on bond and due back in court July 11th. We have no information at this time on the liberty of his penis.
Well,
When justice for
We'll
all.
have to let it ring.
Yeah,
We will have to.
I would say if I stepped on
I
your
stand
pond,
and
I'd
salute you,
go
sir.
out there and kill myself if I beat you to a pun.
I say we're checking back in on July 11th.
I'm going to hang myself with my own petard.
You are a petard.
Hoisted on his own petard.
hoisted on his own petard.
We don't quote a lot of Shakespeare around here. It feels good.
I'm gonna
I like
bypass.
when the
have it.
petard comes by, though.
I'm gonna bypass that story because
Bigly. I like it
Sorry
bigly.
about
No,
that, sir.
don't you dare worry your pretty little head about that. Today was I just
fantastic.
couldn't get to
No,
everything
I know
today. I
it.
had a lot
I know
going on. Well, here's a good reminder of not to fall asleep on the job because I don't know if any of us all ever done that, but I mean,
I've never done that.
Twice.
police
Fall
in the
asleep here a lot.
police in the Spanish city of Huesca posted footage of 1,300 sheep roaming the streets on their Facebook page earlier this week. And you might ask yourself, why? Why would there be 1,300 sheep crossing the road outside of this little city?
To get to
To
the
get
other
to
side.
that.
You lob a
That's why.
softball, you
That's
get it
not
back.
right. No, I get it. Well, that would be because
You get it back.
the reason is
Can't help
not just to get across the road.
Yep.
Well, it'd be because the only shepherd in town that was responsible for this entire fucking sheep fucking fell asleep. That shepherd was watching the sheep overnight, waiting to guide them north through Huska, the capital of the province of the same name. In the morning, that next morning, the flock was due in, this is going to be a tough one, Pyrenean uplands, where they go to graze during the summer months. Well, all did not go according to plan. Local Huseca police received multiple phone calls from city residents about 4:30 in the morning on last Tuesday, alerting the authorities of the sheep walking through the center of town. The police found the shepherd fast asleep. After waking him up, the herder helped the authorities round up the sheep and return them to their pastures, according to the Telegraph newspaper. Neuroscience and management researchers have documented a number of ways that being sleepy makes you bad at your job, and this is obviously one of them. Falling asleep.
I hope the story was going to end somewhere in like the first hour of Brokeback Mountain during the,
I know. I was like, were they in the
the
tent?
spit sex. Yeah.
Right.
It says that falling asleep when you have 1,300 sheep under your watch and control brings a whole new definition of dangerously tired.
Just get in the tent.
Hey, bag of
Does
no.
calling it spit sex take away from the beauty of the movie in any way?
I feel like no. In fact, I think it adds to it.
I don't hear any offensive thing in that at all.
Exactly. So you have a little spit sex. Bigly. I sent you all a link if you're in the chat
Oh.
room.
I might need
I
them.
would like one of those. I'm just going to add it to my bowl of things that make Molly mad.
Crunchy thing.
The Molly's Madness
Molly
Bowl.
eats.
You know what? She only listens for 3 minutes a week, and it's always during Hamilton, so she's not even here yet.
So
That's
yeah,
true, right?
she thinks she's going to wait us out.
Not gonna
Joke's on
happen.
you, lady.
We can get it anywhere.
Amina, I did not expect that to show up in the chat room, that you actually hated looking after goats and sheep as a child.
Right.
Fucking things go everywhere. Well, good Lord. Amina, I'm sorry to hear about your tragic childhood.
Goats and sheep
I'm all
and
about it.
things
I'm all
go
about the
working
the
everywhere.
Can you
I like the
imagine?
songs
Aaron
different.
would be a great little herder. Goat herder? No. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, moving right
there.
along.
Next.
I only know her as Ernie, so I'm like, I don't think you're allowed to say that about listeners. I'm not sure Aaron from LA is going to like knowing
Aaron
he
in
makes a
LA.
great goat.
Different area.
Different Aaron.
Her name is
So-
Ernie. Jesus, you're
My
so
bad.
rude.
I am rude. My bad. I'll have to do that.
Excuse
So-
my...
No
beauty
manners.
So it takes
It's
balls.
snack time. What
Bigly.
time is it?
Molly
Biggins.
time!
Snack time.
It's Bigly Snacks.
It's Bigly
Pass that
Snacks.
back over to
Bigly
Ms. Ryan.
Snacks.
Okay, got it. Okay, we're
It
back on
takes
board.
bigly balls
Bigly Ball.
Bigly balls.
to attempt to sell a single eggplant for more than $100.
Oh, Whole Foods.
Unless
Oh, I
Sprouts.
was trying to guess. Go ahead.
Trader Joe's.
it's shaped like a male sex organ.
Tell me when to
A
put.
large
Can you
male
make change?
sex organ.
Tell me when to put.
Go ahead.
Isn't that
Go
why
ahead.
we use the
There's the-
A
eggplant
New
emoji to
Zealand
be
man
penis? Like,
was,
where's the
was
surprise?
on. It's right up there. Was attempting to
Oh.
sell.
Well, my stars.
Look at those bigly balls on that eggplant. He was attempting to sell the erotic eggplant, and it said for sale a freshly picked
Seems
phallic
small.
aubergine.
But it's got whiskey dick.
But I appreciate
No,
that
it's just
not
early in
just
the
an
morning.
eggplant. It's
Just
an
early. It'll get aroused, right?
aubergine, not just an
aubergine.
eggplant.
We call it regular aubergine.
I said aubergine. Is that's not-
Auber. I don't have the
It's
counter
it's got
space.
AU, so I'd
Takes
Tomato,
purple. Nobody
tomato.
gives a fuck.
No.
Talk about the football.
Totally organic satisfaction guarantee.
Nobody cares about that grape shit.
All
They want to hear about
proceeds,
tackles and.
Touchdowns and injuries.
all proceeds are going to charity.
Thank you.
We got that done. I'm sorry, but if you greeted me with your phallic, not interested in me,
I like it.
eggplant, I'd say no, thank you,
Why?
ma'am.
Why? Of course, phallic fruits and vegetables.
I mean, maybe you could do something with a lip dick, but I'm not.
I don't know that I've
frown.
tried.
Turn that frown upside down.
I'm gonna share. I'm gonna share a picture with you.
Oh, no.
Oh well.
This is a
that's-
private.
I don't want to swipe right on your phone. I've been
No.
told not to
Makes
do that to gay men's
Now
phones.
I
Don't.
see that it says the item was sold to another member. I'm a little
Oh.
concerned about that, but
Another eggplant bought it.
Another
We're
eggplant.
reaching for the puns here. We're just reaching
So,
for the puns.
Oddly,
Nero says it looks like it needs to be stroked gently.
gently.
I think it means bigly.
Bigly.
No, Wrigley. Thank you,
Bigly.
Nero.
There you go.
You're welcome to swipe one time to the left. Just
Yeah.
don't show the
just,
rest.
just one time.
And go
Just the-
and go to
just
the
the
next.
tip.
Just the once.
Oh, the other way. Maybe.
My
I'm,
star.
I'm all about it, Bootsy.
There you go.
Okay.
Final bid?
You know, I've seen one before.
I know you have.
$115.
Well,
There's 15 other assholes in the world that
There's-
outbid her.
Right?
so you got 15 other losers.
$115 for that. It's too much. I mean, really, what is it? It's funny and it's purple, and if that's the best.
But really, for $100,
option
what are you
out
gonna
there.
do with it?
Well, some asshole's gonna try to tell you it's part of lasagna first,
Ever heard of spit
in
sex?
lieu of meat.
I have
Just
indeed.
rewind a couple minutes for spit sex.
Well, it was a
Let me tap my internal rewind button. Oh, there it is. I can hear it now.
It was a bigly sale, and quite frankly,
Rewind.
the auction was a closed auction. So
I remember that night. I
the-
just night.
I'm not sure if the
Remember that
someone
night for
in
the
New
Miss
Zealand that
Mondays?
bought it is Tama.
No, I doubt
not.
it.
Are you-
That doesn't seem. I think Tomo's got his needs taken care of.
No!
I'm just throwing
Aren't we
it out
friends
there.
with him on Facebook? Let's ask him.
Nope.
No, we're
We're
not.
not. He's been
They
very.
haven't reached New Zealand
He's
yet.
on the DL with everything apparently.
Literally.
Well, because you bought an eggplant.
He is bigly down low.
When he's down
Deny.
under.
Yeah, see? From
He's,
under.
he's further down under. Like there's down under.
I had to explain to 3 grown-ass women the other day what the taint was.
Why? Bigly
That's
taint.
bigly.
That's
I-
a bigly taint
Wow.
if I ever seen it.
I was cornered in it. Like,
How did that conversation go? Can you reenact it
Remember,
for us?
I'm
I
a
want to
clean-
know where it started.
I'd
How
like
does
to
Taint give you the Idgy Threadgood accent? Is what
give you the what? Give you the what you say?
all of a sudden she goes into her Idgy Threadgood impression. I've heard it before, so I recognize it.
That's very.
I know. For some
Well,
reason,
you sure are a taint charmer.
yo, beach.
Oh, don't you worry about old Condolingus.
I need more beer.
Clean white woman at work. Picture it.
Anybody?
Or just bring the whole bottle of wine. It's in the door.
Just bring the fridge in here. Fuck it.
I'm sure he's got an extra hand truck
I
out
do.
there.
Not a metaphor.
Got to move 5 vacuums. Anyways, so
14.
again, clean white woman at work.
Oh, your story. I'm sorry.
I'm always getting
Are
like,
you referring to yourself?
yeah.
Oh no, that's not true.
I keep it on the clean side of everything. You know what I mean? Maybe an innuendo here or there.
Well, you
But I'm
don't
always on an
say.
elevator, and people will blame me. Like there'll be the filthiest conversation, or 2 guys dick slapping each other on the elevator, and I get blamed up at the front door.
Does that happen often?
I don't know what
yeah.
elevator you're in.
These flirty queens, you got to see them.
Dick slapping
So
the
anyways,
scrubs? What's
but
happening?
they're
Sword
always
fights
straight.
on the sword fights in the
Yeah,
goddamn
sword
freight
fights
elevator.
in the copy
I'm gonna
room.
smack your eggplant, sir.
So these 2 seasoned
That's a bigly eggplant. I'm gonna smack
2
it.
seasoned nurses like see me going to get a Keurig cup out of my locker,
Mm-hmm.
minding my own business, and they walk in behind me. They're like, "Al, Al," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe somebody has a question
I'm
about
not-
something here that's going on." They're like,
I'm not
"Do you
taking
know
a
what a
drink."
taint is?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "This has to be a trick question. You're both over 14." And I'm sure you have a hand mirror, so you've seen it yourself. So I was just at a fucking loss. And they're like, the lesbian over there just told us she didn't know either. And I'm like, where did the word taint come up? There's only 4 of you working, and 3 of you are discussing how you don't know taint. How did we arrive here at the taint?
I mean, it's like, well, I ain't doing that.
So exactly. So they're
I ain't got a clue.
So while they're bitching, the lesbian and the 2 seasoned nurses are bitching about the fact that they've never heard the word taint. I'm like, listen, it taint your asshole and it taint your pussy. I'm out of here.
Bigly.
All I heard as I left, like, they just found out what the region was. They didn't know what the abbreviation was.
Okay.
I just heard them hit the ground. The 3 of them just fell out. They just knew that this region is called Italy. No one told them why.
Is there a technical name for that area? Is there like a
It's like your peri area. They call it your perineum.
perineum?
Yeah.
Got it. And we've just decided
We call
to
it pericare when you have to wash the taint. But it's just so
Oh.
funny.
Maybe the title of this show.
I wasn't even thinking. All I thought was, no, I
Washing
don't
the
have
taint.
Perry
Victor
care.
Perry.
Or taint. I'm not sure.
As
which
I
one.
do with so many things at work, I'm like, I just don't have time to go to the sexual harassment seminar in the morning. So I've got to get away from this conversation
Right.
because it'll be blamed on me.
Sure.
The two guys dick slapping each other in the elevator, straight guys.
Oh,
Straight
yeah.
guys that couldn't stop flirting with. They were secretly in love. Everyone, if you're listening to this and you work, you know exactly what I mean. They were secretly in love with each other, and I think they're still carrying on a long distance love affair.
By the way,
Between
that's what
floors?
happens
But
when
they
Al
would
doesn't
make-
drink for 2 days.
They would make sure that I was somewhere nearby when they started like giving each other hand jobs, so they could blame me. So one of the seasoned nurses that was asking about a taint is in the elevator with me. I'm standing shoulder to shoulder to her during the dick slapping and the giggling from the two in the back. The elevator opens. She's like, "It's just so uncomfortable to ride an elevator with you, Al." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
By the way,
Here's
all
my hand.
animals just ran from the room.
And she says it to this day. She's like, "I know you had nothing to do with that." She's like, "But those two touched each other's dicks anytime you were around. As soon as they saw you, they started giving each other hand jobs." So I'm like,
I pay him.
I'm watching.
"No, I'm not."
I appreciate Aaron in
Bigley.
LA. What is the address of this elevator?
Floor 3, dry goods and women's lingerie.
And they
I
were
know.
both they were both attractive. There was no getting around it. But I was afraid that I would have not the what's it called, the no reason whatsoever boner. What's he talking about up there? Scroll back. No apparent reason boner. That was what NARB was.
The
I'm
surprise.
so
yeah.
glad I did not drink.
Oh, actually, I forgot what that's called.
No apparent reason boner.
I don't. I
But there's a
remember.
real
Don't do
apparent
your whole
reason when there's
story
two guys
for-
slap the dick in the behind me in scrubs.
You know, earlier I said
Maybe
to my
too
mom, I
personal.
really wasn't sure how tonight's show was going to go, and this is not where I figured we were going to
Same.
go.
Really,
So we're good.
Same.
Yeah.
We'll job it.
Clayton McKee, we've built a good format because same.
Yeah. I'm looking for that.
I will not let my personal tragedies affect my ability to do good hair.
What's that?
That's right. That's right. I'm looking for what was
My work
that?
is a little poofy when I'm nervous.
No, Bootsy, that's not.
I
There's,
see a hole.
there's another name. There's another name that it's been so long since I've had one. I don't remember what it's called. I can't recall what. God, is it? I'll dig that up. I'll figure out what the hell. But by the way, I don't have any more headlines. So if we're done with beating that story off, let's go with
Bigley.
your feel good story.
Well, speaking of Bigley. Well, I hope you all read the link as to whether they're because I like that the Associated Press now can't figure out what the hell he's trying to say.
I don't know what you think you're doing with that.
How do you want the files?
Well, didn't you email it to me?
No, it doesn't work.
Oh. Well, then let me see that. What is it? Is it?
It's an external
It's a
hard drive.
phone.
There's two MP3s on the very.
We're gonna see
I
because
try
this
to
is
be helpful.
this
It
is
doesn't
audio.
go to. Oh, it's
No,
this
this is
one?
audio.
Oh, okay.
So let's see.
Okay.
Continue on, Al. Continue on.
Last
I'll be down. I'm
pictures
gonna
you
be
had
over
me
here.
put it there.
Very different things. A lot of technical things happen here. Bigley.
He'll
You know
be
there
in
are
the,
kids that do this with
He'll
their
be
phone,
in the
right?
taint region of the studio.
Oh yeah. We're not any of them.
Just checking.
So the Emmy ballots have gone out, and there is one very surprising snub on it.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I
Guess
thought I was
who
brilliant.
did not get a chance to even be nominated because it was not their episode was not submitted for best guest role on a comedy series. Could it be Donald Trump? SNL did
Good.
not submit his
Oh,
episode
really?
for Emmy consideration because they did not
love
want to
it.
be responsible
I didn't
for him being an Emmy Award winner.
Fuck yeah.
Not okay.
So, but on the other
Well
list,
played, SNL.
and it was a pretty good episode.
Point out which one are the ones I'm doing.
It's called Love is Love is Love is Love. Whatever.
Got that one.
And the other one is Anderson.
Got it. Okay. Got
Okay.
it. All right.
So, Julia Louis-Dreyfus did not get her episode was not submitted either.
No.
And they're wondering if because I think she now has the most Emmys or she's tied for like the most Emmys in the lead actress category or something like that. So they were thinking maybe it was a show by her to like not become because Emmys vote for the same people over and over and over again. Like once you win one, you got a good shot at winning a couple more. But the definitely a snub of Donald Trump because SNL is the one that hands them in.
I'm okay with that.
But I thought that was fantastic. And the other thing that was not turned in is Angela Lansbury is she is the Susan Lucci of the nighttime Emmys, except for Susan Lucci eventually won one. But Angela Lansbury has been nominated 18 times and has never won an Emmy. And she and James Earl Jones were in the PBS miniseries of Driving Miss Daisy, or Let the Bitch Walk, as I like to call it, because that show drives me
You have
fucking
called it that in
crazy.
the past.
Let
That's
the
right.
bitch walk.
And they were not submitted for nomination, so she has no chance to end her streak.
I have some most Emmy stats for you, in
Uh-huh.
case you were wondering.
Yeah, Bootsy, I am.
From Rolling Stone, most Emmys won by a single actor is 8, and it's Cloris Leachman.
Wow. good for
Longest
him.
Emmy nomination acting streak is 12, John Hamm for Mad Men.
Oh, Mad Men, sure.
Oh, but it wasn't on that many seasons, because he had guest actor in 30 Rock a lot too.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
Jen-
his character there.
Yeah.
Most categories for a single nominee is 9, and that goes to Louis C.K.
Writing, directing, producing.
Writing, performing, directing, producing, editing, hosting. Role that won the most, that's won actors the most Emmys, is Cops with 33. 33 trophies have gone to people playing cops.
Oh yeah.
Most Emmys won by a writer-producer is 17, and that's James L. Brooks. Most...
Genius.
Sure.
From Mary Tyler Moore to Cheers to Friends to every
You just
single.
see his name. Like,
Oh no, I'm thinking
everywhere.
of Jimmy Burrows too. James L. Brooks is Terms of Endearment. Started on Mary Tyler Moore, went to Terms of Endearment,
Yes.
and then became
Tracy
The
Ullman Show,
Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That's-
They merge briefly and then they separate.
And then finally, most Emmys won by a single episode is 5, and that's the pilot for ER.
Oh, that was good.
Took home trophies for writing, directing, editing, sound editing, and mixing.
And no supporting actress for. Oh no, she was not. Oh no, I thought
She's not a most.
I thought Juliana Margulies. No, I thought she would have been in that list of
Oh,
wins.
in the
list of wins for that
episode,
first season.
No acting awards for that particular season.
episode. No, that
Right.
episode. Most
Right.
wins for one episode, right?
Yes.
Yes, because she was probably she probably submitted a different episode from that season, but she
wouldn't-
did win that first year.
I appreciate
Carol
Jenny.
was
That
supposed
was
to
mighty
die.
bigly of you. Mighty
Carol was
bigly.
supposed to die.
That's right.
I'm gonna go Bigly P.
All right.
Oh.
It's very nice.
the
I'm
big
glad
name
that we
Miss
update
Swan.
people.
I'm trying to find out how many Emmy nominations that Louis Dreyfus has had. Hang on.
15.
50. Did you get there before me? Good
No,
job.
I just made up a number.
You're just,
It just
I
seemed right.
I do enjoy
know.
that about you.
Thanks. It seemed right.
I just
don't
made
know.
some shit up.
No,
Fuck it.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'd like to give a shout out to Japan. Whoever's listening in Japan, hello.
Japan.
If you can hit us up in the chat room, that'd be great to let us know who you are and how you found us.
Aren't those awesome? The Mary Tyler Moores, Aaron. I just love those. I love watching those. With Rhoda, Mary and Rhoda.
I am into
I
not
love it.
not that it's connected at all, but somebody who looks fantastic still. I mean, Mary Tyler Moore has been through a lot,
Yeah, she has.
but I am enjoying the Grace and Frankie on Netflix.
I am too.
And last night, the episode about sex where Lily Tomlin's character made the yam lube.
Oh, you don't even know
I
how
haven't
far
seen
they're
it
going to
yet.
go with that yam
Yeah.
lube. That's great.
It is
Follow
fucking
that
hilarious.
storyline.
The yam lube is fucking hilarious.
And what?
Grace and Frankie.
yeah, that one.
But who looks fantastic still? Goddamn, Jane Fonda.
Fonda.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's just
She really
been,
does.
but
And she's a pleasure to watch. I mean, she really
It's
is
the whole
on the
thing,
top
yes.
of her game still. Like,
it's funny as hell.
Okay, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, 7 Emmy wins, 20 nominations.
yeah. So I mean, so she's close to the
a
record
lot.
for.
I don't have a very good website for records. I have the
actresses.
Rolling Stone article and nothing. I got nothing. I have nothing.
Nothing.
I have
You ain't got no
nothing.
But-
bigly news.
I
Nothing.
ain't got shit.
You ain't got no bigly news.
I got bigly squats.
But I just loved it that SNL kind of accepted their shame for letting him host. Like thinking it was a brief but shining star, they put him on the beginning of the season and kind of helped create the monster. Like there's
He's been a monster for a long time. They just
but
they
they
unknowingly
really
stepped in it.
yeah, but they didn't realize how deep the pool was. I think they
Right.
thought they were putting their toe in something, and then they went, they went bigly, and it turned wrong. And they've been making fun of him ever since. And when they started being like, when it turned shitty on him later that same episode, I'm like, I wonder at what point
fair.
they realized what a bad idea this was. Like, you know how when my favorite example is Queer Eye, when you talk about like things getting meta. Like, at what point are the episodes of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy? Because they filmed like 4 or 5 of them, and then it came out and they became popular. Like, when did they start the filming when they knew they were popular? Like, when did they?
Right.
When they
When
got
are they
it.
working hard because they don't know what they're doing, and when are they like, oh, I'm special now? And you have to wonder, like, at what point
When do
during
you
the
start
week?
amping up the gay, right?
Yeah, at what point during the week of working with Trump were they like, oh, this is the giant nightmare?
Okay. Yeah.
Like, he's being a good sport, but this is a monster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with 10 minutes. If there's a
It
pool,
wasn't a
I'm gonna
bigly
pick
amount
10
of time.
minutes.
Yeah, I would too. All right, since he's busy. So in the week of Sunday's events, a homosexual. No, he wasn't homosexual when the story starts.
Pardon me.
He is a prominent conservative blogger who has been anti-gay and just saying horrible things about gays. Well, now he's decided to just say horrible things about Hillary Clinton and Obama.
All right.
Because he's decided to come out. Because like any person that just goes after gays, they're probably a closet case. I'll
Right.
just say it. And he was. So he said it's time for gays to come home to the Republican Party. Like most gay Americans, I don't wear my sexuality on my sleeve. I go about my daily business. I try not to harm anyone, except for horrible blog things that I post. I love my family. I love my friends. I love my country. I've been a conservative activist for years, but today I'm coming out as a conservative gay activist. So this fucktard, who I feel like we almost shouldn't say his name,
I don't think we should.
I'm fair. That's fair.
he's just gross.
We'll give him any kind of, no.
But this, I mean, it's just Google, because you need to Google him. His name is Jim Holt. And he is just this atrocious human being who's been against everything of any kind of human decency for the longest time, and now he's out. And
Well,
now
good
our
for
last
him.
little story,
I'd rather he come out than go and take his
rage out on other
rage
people.
out on other people.
That's true.
Oh.
Well, good. That's a point I
Yeah.
hadn't thought of. Well said. And Florida Governor Rick Scott on Sunday refused to acknowledge that the LGBT community had been targeted by a shooter who killed at least 50 people at a gay-themed nightclub. During an interview on CNN, host Jake Tapper, who was phenomenal on Sunday,
Oh, good.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not always a big fan of his because I think his politics show through his interviewing
Right,
too
you
much.
said that.
But wow, did he come across as very compassionate and really keeping people on their toes. He pointed out that the LGBT community appears to have been directly attacked. Bigly.
We have to scream it every time.
Yeah, there are a lot
Alright,
of
just
members of
wondering.
that community and supporting friends and family who are very worried. Obviously, if it was a terrorist, which the special agent in charge suggested it may have been, this is a community that's been under siege from them. Are you taking any special precautions? And Scott, however, declined to acknowledge the LGBT community in his response. We don't want anyone in our state to be targeted. We don't want anybody to be discriminated against. And so in every case, we believe there is someone doing the wrong thing. We work hard to make sure we take care of them. We just became a pronoun to this fucker. And this guy's an asshat, Rick Scott. He's a douche waffle of the highest magnitude. Bigly. I mean that sincerely.
I don't think douche waffle has actually been used before.
It's Twat Waffle's cousin.
Twat Waffle,
Oh,
yeah.
douche!
Yeah,
Yeah.
only has the
Twat
tooth.
Waffle's cleaner cousin.
Because I just want, I just want to pour vinegar on him
Watered
so no
vinegar,
one
right.
can enjoy that waffle.
She's a bigly cousin.
She's a bigly cousin. And it really was
She's the Jersey Shore
awful.
cousin.
Like I said, it was awful to watch them dance around it. And like Rubio was what started the rage cycle. But to find out that he made it through all these news cycles without saying what that club was behind him,
Well, and there was a lot
remember
of that
people because
beginning.
the politicians, the people of Florida, I'm sure are wonderful and they make for fun headlines. But the politicians they elect are for the most part douchewads. Like.
Same can be said for us.
That's
True.
That's it.
Same
That's
as said
it.
for
Oh, Ego
Arizona.
is same.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
We're twinsies almost with
Right.
our elected
We're
officials.
the twat waffles. They're the douche waffles.
Cousins.
We all show up to the waffle family reunion.
Exactly. Some smell like twat, some like vinegar, some say they smell the same. I can't say that.
Hey, douche kids, do you remember our cousins, the twats? Like, that's how that reunion goes.
That
It's
is.
a good reunion. It's a good one. I love douche nozzle, Bootsy. I love that word.
You know,
And-
I'm not a news junkie, and so I follow, like, most of my breaking news comes through social media. And it was very interesting because Sunday morning, and we're going to use morning in the most loose terms because I worked Saturday night.
Yeah.
But Sunday morning, I spent my, required 2 hours in bed on the internet reading everything that I could.
It is required. It's de rigueur at this point.
Right. It's really just part of the process. Like, open eyes, reach for phone, read internet, 2 hours pass, maybe get up and get some coffee.
Find out where coffee comes
Right.
from.
Right. And sometimes when the family's home, it comes to me, which is very nice. It's delightful.
That is nice.
That's a strong argument for children.
But Sunday morning, a lot of the social media commentary was, why won't these people say it was a gay bar?
Right.
You know, so that took a little time, and it wasn't just the politicians. The politicians continued that, but news outlets were not.
Oh, Wolf Blitzer went for it immediately.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh. And I can't remember what the
Wolfie?
guy's name is that does overnight on Saturday nights, and I watch him so often. Vaguely Hispanic, but he was calling it a gay club.
About the Florida of the West?
Oh, I love
No,
that.
the Patty Duke cousins.
Yeah, identical cousins. But I like the Arizona, the Florida of the West, because
I
I
do
say
too.
it too. Like, we can't throw stones too
funny.
hard because they're just gonna bounce back and hit us.
Right.
Because that's a fucking mirror, asshole.
Well, if we can get them over Texas.
But so I can't remember his name, but he handles late night. Because you know how in the weekdays now they're in LA. They used to be in like sometimes they'll go to Sydney for your. I don't know how familiar you are with overnight. I watch a lot of overnight CNN.
I used to watch more than I do.
But they would have
In fact, I
Robin and
watch
the
none
cute
now.
guy in Australia that would read the news because they would take over at about midnight and then it would go to early morning. Well, there's another guy in the weekends that's somewhere in these United States, I think, and he's vaguely Latin, Hispanic.
Very nice.
But he said gay club right away. And then I was on someone's Facebook page, and they're like, "Why do they keep saying gay people? Can't they just say people?" I'm like, "No, it's important to say
Right.
they were targeted for a specific
Yeah.
reason."
I had a little bit of an issue with that at first because I was like, why do they keep saying gay? It's like they kept saying it, and some of the tones that people were saying it in struck me wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And then I'm like, we have really no choice but to say that because it was a targeted.
Right.
It was a thoughtful target. I don't think the Latin Night had a goddamn thing to do with it. I think it's all gay all the time. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, purple, orange, whatever color you are.
And if he did go there often, maybe that is the night that he frequented more
Right.
than any other night. I mean,
Yeah.
potentially, but that wouldn't have.
But I think what
I
really
wondered about
what
it, though.
drove it home partially to me today was when Anderson Cooper was talking to that bitch, and just was driving home the fact that she completely ignored
That
every
bitch
time.
being the Attorney General of Florida,
Yeah,
who
yeah,
fought
Bondi.
against and against
Is her
and
name
against
Bondi?
gay marriage.
Bondi
Yeah.
is her last name. Fucking vote her out. Get her the. Oh, I was just defending the that 69% of people. 69% of people were in
Oddly,
agreement.
69 of them.
But you never. When he gets there, he's like, I went through your entire Twitter feed for the past year. You praise every other holiday. You
It was actually all dogs.
Dog
Yeah.
Day and this day and that whatever else. yeah.
Abandoned dog day, regular dog
Goes all
day,
day.
recently
Little
found
dog
dog
day.
day,
And he goes right. And she goes. And
Recently kidnapped
He's like,
dog day.
waffle dog day.
he goes, if you're an ally,
have pets.
like I'm paraphrasing, but he said basically, if you're an ally to the gay community, this is Pride Month. Why would you not have done that? Oh well, we've just put a picture on our website. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, you
many
just,
different
and he's
colored
like,
hands
He's like, oh, you
clasping.
you just did that. You just did that right now. Yeah. Oh, this is all about humans. And I just wanted to push her over, like fuck
Yeah.
her. And then he was just like driving home the fact that this is a gay bar issue. This was an attack on these people. Blah blah blah. And she could barely say LGBT as well. But when he came back later, and he said, we looked all over that website and we cannot find the image that she's talking about. Please, somebody from her office reach out to us and let us know where that image
Yeah.
is.
I was just say the thing to do is going forward from that, watch and see. Because even if for political reasons, if she gets on board, then she's on board. You know what I mean? Like there's
Right.
a turning point for everyone.
I don't think
Right.
she's
so
going to get there.
benefit of the doubt.
mean,
here,
somebody's
like,
doing
if
her
this
hair.
is a
But if
turning
she
point,
evolves into an ally, if this is what
for
does
whatever
it,
reason, if
that
it's
gay,
just to
that
get
the
reelected,
LGBT people stop being.
It's not getting old.
No,
I know it's fun.
it's got two problems. First, I like it, and second, you like it.
It's loud, right? Oh, yeah. There's that
I feel
too.
like it's the new jet. For real, what's up?
Which was very startling for several weeks.
That exclamation point hurts.
Oh.
Forgot my point, but it was fantastic.
It was the best.
Yeah.
You make great points.
Thank you.
have
You make the best points.
ever.
But a couple months
You
ago,
have the biggest points in
not
the
too
world.
long ago, we were the biggest threat to Florida. That's how she
Bigliest.
that's how she described the LGBT community. Was we were the biggest threat to Florida in that lawsuit.
Right.
So we can't go from being, are we the threat or are we the victims
Right.
of this? Because like, I mean, one of you swore on a Bible, I'm
Right.
sure.
And again, even if just for purely political
Oh,
reasons
yeah.
you become an ally, then you're an ally. Like
Yeah,
I don't.
I'll take
If
it.
you just think it's going to get you votes, I'll take it.
If we got the Attorney General of that ass backwards state, maybe she can talk to our ass backwards Attorney General and I'm just assuming ours is because Arizona politics makes me so mad. I have like
It's
instant amnesia.
really hard. I know.
Yep.
Not okay.
So he's still not paying attention. So.
I am. I'm just trying to type at the same time to deal with an idiot.
So our last little headline is that over the course of the last week, according to the latest NBC Survey Monkey polls, Clinton is now ahead. Let me read this
Oh,
whole
let's
thing.
talk election. That sounds fun. Wasn't
I like that silence. That was
Over the
No,
past
no,
weeks,
DC
and now
primaries
leads Trump
tonight.
by 25 points, 58% to 33 among voters describing themselves as moderate. He still leads by men by 14 points, but now that's only 9 points. So it's coming down. And
Okay.
as we learned from Romney, if he's going to win, Romney got 61% of the white male vote and lost the election, where 62% of the white male vote in 1980 would have been every state in the union.
Okay.
But so now they're saying this is the bar. Like if Romney carried as many states as he did,
with 61%.
and that's his only voting block is non-bigly educated.
Non-bigly.
Because college educated, he starts to lose them. So you have to
Absolutely.
be non-bigly educated white male.
What was it he said in Nevada? We like the poorly educated.
The poorly.
Wait, the poorly
no,
educated.
where's it? Was it?
It was the poorly educated.
Oh, the well-educated and the poorly
Right.
educated.
We love the poorly
We love
educated.
the poorly educated. You got to put it in context for how bad it sounded.
Exactly, you fucking moron.
So, just a fucking nightmare. But they're saying like his appeal has to go out and like whether or not this is going to start working because he's got no one that's going to go to bat for him.
right.
I mean, let's just play at this game for a minute. Think of his three main, not the tards that are up, the fucktards, just to make you feel better. Not the fucktards.
That
like,
does make it better.
Like what's his
Yeah,
name?
just
Somehow, I don't know.
The guy with the white hair on CNN, or the crazy looking.
Blitzer?
No,
Blitzwolfer.
I love
Lord.
Blitzer.
Lord. His name is something Lords or something like that. He's the main
Oh,
guy.
I know who you're
He's
talking
the
Sings
about.
that
only
song
g-
Royals. Oh, different.
And then there's the white lady that's on CNN that defends him when the other guy has a day off. And then they have the shoplifting, welfare cheating lady on MSNBC and Fox News. She goes
That
back
I
and
don't
forth.
know.
Oh, look her up. She's the one that's
Yeah.
out. She's Trump. He only has like 3 supporters. It's not
Right,
that hard
right,
to find them
right.
on TV. But then they found out this week that she's a Trump supporter that's all about making America great again. And like she was all these things about her. But one of the things was that she was taking illegal welfare. She was accepting welfare checks while she had a job.
Yes.
Oh, she's fantastic. Oh, what's that Lord's name? I can't think what his name is. But anyways,
I'm
who
looking.
Trump has
Are
to
you looking?
campaign for him
Kat,
is...
are you looking or no?
I'm looking for Trump supporter welfare.
Got it. I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah, and then you Trump supporter
Yep, got
CNN.
it.
He's on there every fucking day.
Got it.
You have Jan Brewer. He only has 3 surrogates willing to campaign for him at this point. She has all the charm of a scorching case of herpes.
But she's so
Scorching.
much fun to watch talk.
Yeah.
She's like Sarah Palin to me. Like I
Which
don't
brings
want
us to
them
number 2.
to have any power, but I just want them to just keep talking.
And that's his number 2 person that he has to campaign for him is someone who has no command of the English language whatsoever.
Word salad.
Just word fucking
She's really
salad.
good. She's really good at rhyming.
Yeah. I think my rap career is going better than hers so far.
Oh.
Based
I
on
wonder-
I've
Lin-
heard
Bitter
mine, I've seen
slinging,
hers. I'm more of a fan.
gun
Yeah,
In.
bitter
Yeah.
slinging. That's fantastic. I wonder if Lin Manuel.
Rudy-
Shirt ringing.
gonna
Rudy
Yeah.
Tooty Fresh and Fruity motherfucker.
I
Is that
can
what
work-
you got at IHOP?
I can work that
no,
in.
I did not.
Oh, I
No.
enjoyed
I
that.
want
a great
Lin
deal.
I had
Manuel
the I had the
to give her a-
spinach omelet,
all
spinach
sugar
mushroom
all the
omelet.
time.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
And I like that no matter what you order, even if it's a hamburger, it comes with a side of pancakes.
Fuck
That's
yeah.
the joy of the
Right,
IHOP.
right.
It
Fuck
just
yeah.
comes with
With the
pancakes.
smiley face.
So
Mm-hmm.
you got word salad, the Wicked Witch of the West, or the Florida of the West. And then your third choice, Chris Christie.
Oh.
That big tub of lard who just screams at people.
Hang on. Back it up. We're not fat shaming around here. Look around this table a minute.
But the
don't know
good
what
thing
you're talking
is,
about.
I'm not sure if she
That
just
was
called
me.
me fat,
I
but
meant the
I called all of
shitterati
us
of
fat.
camera
by the
horse.
way, which please, I told him
shitterati.
I've been in that cupboard, so I'm feeling good about that. He had a picture of us. We're in the cupboard at his house right now while he makes dinner.
Oh, that's funny.
Aaron
I
from
said
LA.
I look.
But I
so
love the shitterati of camera horse. That's really funny.
Seriously.
So
Is it one of these women?
No, that's
No.
oh, that's Baldwin in the middle. No, that's Kate.
Yeah, Kate something.
I don't know.
Is it Kate
I'm
Baldwin?
trying. I'm
Baldwin.
not coming up with CNN Trump supporter
I'm looking
welfare.
it up,
So
but I'm not.
Oh no. She's not from there. But
She's
I'll,
on Fox.
Oh, I see.
and
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
MSN.
So
Alright.
that's what you think. So Clinton has on her side, and we hope it works. She's got Obama, Biden, Bernie will go do something. We don't know what.
Yeah.
She's got John Kerry she's got her husband willing to support for her. I mean, she's got media saturation.
She's
Absolutely.
got
Elizabeth Warren.
person-
Elizabeth
Personality.
Warren, you've got Elizabeth Warren willing
Personal.
to, I mean, you've got the people willing to go on tour.
Yeah, I like that
and
they're willing
speak.
to Trump for her.
Right, exact.
stump for her. Oh,
But it really
Trump
is
for her.
amazing. And then you look at
I don't
like,
get it.
Can I have a snap pea? Oh, you just threw. What did you throw at her? An almond?
No, man.
I would like a snap pea. Whatever
Ant
the hell.
trap,
is-
please. So,
Oh, yeah.
but if you think about that, that's kind of exciting for our team. That
Yes.
like who we've got stirring up the nation, and
Because we've got
the three blind mice. Yeah,
personality.
the three blind mice that she's got going for
Thank
her.
you.
But she is up, and that's before LGBT came up, and,
startling.
Jab!
and he became our best. He's my best friend.
He's a better ally than Hillary. He
Than
said
Hillary,
so.
yeah.
He's bigly better. More bigly.
I'm excited to invite him to my coming up party.
All right. So to save time, we're just
You're
gonna
gonna go back in time?
Maybe.
Okay.
if she could, if she could. So we'll just
turn
back time.
At whoa. At
So we're
this
just gonna
point,
whip
Hillary, Hillary has not mentioned a VP that I am aware
Not
of.
to my knowledge.
No, and
No,
I
no.
I
if
don't
I
know that
remember
that's
right,
gonna
it
happen
stays
for a while.
pretty rumory until the convention.
Usually about
Is
2
that right?
weeks before. They want a couple of news cycles.
No.
So,
So
I
people
think
can,
the
like-
Republicans go first this year. I think their
Hang on, let me find my
their
calendar.
conference is first.
Is the
and-
white guy a host, by the way, on CNN?
No.
A
Jeffrey
moderator?
Lord. His name is Jeffrey Lord.
Okay, Jeffrey Lord.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lord.
Jeff-
That's him. He's the tard that's been on here since last summer, and he used to be the only person on any channel.
Okay, so today is the last primary, and it's a DC. Hillary won.
Oh, man.
Oh, this guy.
Right.
Okay.
Oh!
And the RNC goes first. The Republican National Convention is July 18th through the 21st. And the Democrats go the very next week, the 25th through the 28th.
So you can expect her to announce her just as Trump starts to get a post-convention bump, which they always do. She'll announce her VP that will usually
Like
dig
that
in,
Friday?
That'll dig into her cycle, like that
Okay.
into his cycle. Because usually you want to cut them off before they get. But luckily with Trump, he's the only person that can take like what should have been winning the nomination and just kill it for 4 weeks. 4 days of bad press.
Sure.
I keep thinking it's water. It's not water.
I'll keep drinking it though.
Yeah, why not?
So we'll
Vodka,
just
water, potato.
jump ahead to a couple things.
We're not even in entertainment with
No,
you yet.
we're just
No, we'll
skipping
be
all the
okay.
music to save time.
Don't save a lot of time. I didn't prepare anything. As usual.
Well, the wife didn't know how to clean. That's. Oh, sorry. I'm like watching this.
She
and
needs to
reading
learn
it.
about pine salt power,
Pine
baby.
salt.
Yeah. So Curb Your Enthusiasm
God.
is coming back for a season. I think it's season 7.
Fun.
So many people are very excited about that. That HBO is bringing that back, and that can be really. That can either be way too dry and too inside baseball, or it can be really fucking crazy funny when it can go the road of Ricky Gervais extras. Like it can go
Okay.
down that road. Oh, there was one more headline in here. Oh, I was trying to get the Samantha Bee thing. Samantha Bee, Monday nights on TBS. Her show is phenomenal, and her response last night was absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. Because they let her say fuck. Oh, I don't know. I watched it online. I didn't actually watch it on TBS. But online, she goes full F-bomb. And I sent it to all of you to watch. It's just fantastic. But Samantha
I did
Bee's
see
show, is it inside? No,
Oh, my
it's
mother
Inside
loves
Amy
it.
Schumer.
My mother loves that
Yeah.
that bee girl.
I cannot think of,
Samantha
but
Bee.
she was one of my favorite parts of the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. She was just brilliant. Oh, there was another big story on here.
It's Full Frontal with Samantha Bee. is
Full
what she's
frontal. I
talking
knew it was vaguely dirty.
Vaguely.
Well, I guess because I can't find anything else. Well, I can't find anything I wrote down. Oh, Nashville got renewed and will be picked up next season by Country Music
Is it
Channel
gonna be by
as rumored.
And Hulu.
Oh,
And
Hulu will
it'll be
air them the
carried on
next day.
Hulu. Oh, good.
Yep.
So you don't
Good,
have
good,
to.
good.
There's no
Because
way.
you were talking about CMT or whatever.
I don't
and
have to
thought
change
of you with
anything at
that.
all.
Yeah.
So just make yourself busy on Wednesday nights or whenever it airs, because the next morning it will be on in its entirety.
Oh, very good. I watch
Um,
No Things live anyway.
Right.
Zero
But it was good
things.
to know that Hulu took up the charge for it,
was gonna
because
pick that up. Good.
CMT is not part of a lot of
They championed it.
Yeah, a lot of cable. But it was a
That's how
perfect-
I watched
I'm just
it was
trying
a
to be
perfect
relevant.
match.
Wow.
So I mean, it's late in the hour, so we have to talk about the Tonys.
Tony.
Well,
Tony,
so
Tony, Tony.
oh, so we're gonna. This is your entertainment, and I've got your 2 audio clips. I'm
Well,
not
that's
sure.
it. There's only.
I'm not sure when the hell that's gonna happen or what you need to have happen.
You're a menace.
Me?
Well, sometime during the Tonys,
I
I sent him the audio for the sonnet
Yeah.
from
Okay. All right,
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
We'll do this just because we can.
There's no headlines. The
Well,
Tonys happen.
We're entering your fucking entertainment section.
Tony
you get
officially
you get
and
music.
In the segment.
It's part of the
This is
union.
my friend Scott over here going, hey, we need to do dessert now.
This is
It's 9 o'clock. Let's do dessert.
it's required in the union for the orchestra that's below. They have to play this theme song
Just off camera.
below in the pit.
That, I can see them from. I can see them from here.
So the Antoinette Perry Theater League gave out the Tony Awards. It was like the
LGBT.
yeah, and they were all there.
There were a lot
Let me
of them
tell ya.
there, yeah.
Oh,
They
they
were well
were.
represented.
There were some queers.
Jeezy Pete.
All of the musical, they did a really fun thing.
A really fun thing.
They did a thing.
They did a thing.
Oh,
I can't remember if
I'm
it's
sorry.
Tuesdays or Wednesdays at Hamilton. The performers go outside and
Wednesdays.
just sing songs, and it's called Ham for Ham.
Ham for him. Very
Oh.
And so they decided to incorporate that into
I'm good. I got a whole bucket full.
into the Tonys. So they had every show that was nominated for musical go outside, and for the people in, standing outside the theater, had them perform a little bit of a song. They were very short
and very cute.
and very cute.
And it's not.
It
And
was.
it's not songs from their musical.
No,
Right.
it's from their. They were saying it was from their favorite musicals.
All right.
So everyone that was nominated for best composer of a score did tomorrow. So it was Sarah Bareilles, it was Steve Martin, Edie Brickell,
Edie Brickell
Andrew Lloyd
sounded
Webber.
like shit.
They did it in 3 seconds on a city street with
No,
no
I
sound
know, but I
check.
was just saying, like, everybody sounded pretty good, but Edie Brickell was like,
Yeah,
Did
But
she-
she's singing the song that's written in the key of a 7-year-old girl. Like,
I'm just throwing it out
She
there.
didn't have
I'm
any
just
of her
commenting.
bohemians with her, did she?
no, both, and
Not
they were
the
not
new ones.
They were
Not
not shooting rubber bands at the stars either.
No.
But it was just fun. And Andrew, what did Andrew Lloyd Webber play? Did he play the triangle? It was something funny that they gave him
It
to
was
play.
like the triangle. Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just cute. They sang tomorrow. It's a tough song to just jump on stage with 30 seconds notice and perform.
You could do it.
probably.
Well, he could.
I'd give you a little
I
something.
believe in you.
But they were so much fun. And Hamilton did Rent. They did Seasons of Love, which was really
Yeah.
nice. The Color Purple did a great number. Now I can't think of what it was, but that was fun. Oh, they did The Lion King.
Clean pajamas, penguins
He's
on the bottom.
So that was a really fun thing. And then they all performed their own numbers. The cast of Spring Awakening.
You know what? I was really surprised by Spring Awakening. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and Krista Rodriguez.
Not only the Ham for Ham, but their
their number.
Oh.
Krista Rodriguez was in the original cast. She was on Smash.
Correct, Jenny.
Mostly the second season, but she was kind of in the first season. Is back somehow, and she's in the cast of Spring Awakening
Look at her
again.
go.
But she also is one of those actresses that's going to be like playing a 14-year-old till she dies because she looks 14.
Good for her.
So if you liked her on Smash, she is available on both cast albums, and it was very good. They were just wonderful. But the cast of Waitress,
Yeah.
they were fun outside. I can't remember what they did, but
Tambourine. Bootsy said Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Andrew Lloyd Webber was on
Yeah.
Tambourine. That's right. And Edie Brickell is married to Paul Simon. That's true.
Oh, I forgot about
and
that.
he has a new album out. That's all.
But after much speculation and a lot of worrying about, I spent a lot of time debating with myself, worrying,
Only with
plotting,
yourself.
and planning what Hamilton would perform. I was hoping for a medley. They had given a couple teasers.
Yeah. Oh, I thought we were in for a medley when they were introducing it to, and they started the beginning of Satisfied.
Yeah.
That piano.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
And then they
just did Yorktown.
They did
which
the
is
song
fine.
that's already on YouTube, and I was like, I already have this clip. What if I went on to do a show tunes night? We already possess this. but-
It's on the red hard drive. Clayton has it right now.
Yeah.
Show tunes night right there.
So it was.
I have.
It was good. I mean, I was hoping for more because I'm so desperate
was
to
too.
see it that I wanted to see something staged
More,
properly and
more.
see what they do.
Right.
But the absolute performance of the night to me was Jessie Mueller. I think is her last name. She won a Tony for playing Carole King in the musical Beautiful. Now she's the lead actress in Waitress, and her song at the end
that
of the
was
show.
her.
That song at the
Yeah.
end of the
Brilliant.
show was the performance of the night. It
Yeah.
was. It
Her
was
voice was like,
breathtaking.
are you kidding?
Oh, I know. She did the unhinge the jaw and just let you
Yeah.
have
And
it
just
with
let
both
it out.
barrels.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to watching because again, I've recorded it all, so I'll have to go through it.
So Hamilton won. I think it's a record-breaking 11.
Yep, it
was the 11
record-breaking.
It was.
Record-breaking.
I saw that come up on my phone.
And they, there was 3 awards they were never going to win except for in ties because they were against themselves in the actor and supporting actor categories. The girl from Color Purple won Best Actress
She
in a
was
Musical.
Amazing.
Yeah, and if you saw her in the Prince tribute when the Color Purple did,
I did.
that was her singing that opening part that everybody in the crowd was like, "Oh fuck!"
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
You got a room
Right.
full of singers that are all like, "Oh no, bitch, she's on."
Yeah,
That's-
nope, she's got it.
she's
Her
and
voice
her
is
the performance of that
mesmerizing.
song was just lovely, lovely.
Yeah, she's mesmerizing.
Oprah was very proud and stroked her while she won Best.
Oprah looked real. Those glasses were not particularly.
It was like Oprah ate Adriana Grande.
Let me tell you, the gathering that I was at, the minute that they showed Oprah, like in the opening number,
Or
all we,
Sherman.
all we did all night, it's Stedman.
No,
was
Sherman.
Sherman.
Peabody
Oh,
and
Sherman
Sherman.
and Peabody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the moment that Oprah like shows up
Stedman.
on screen, all of a sudden everyone like in unison, I love bread. Because if you haven't seen her Weight Watchers commercial or the Maya Rudolph like pun parody of it,
Yep. Maya
I
Marty.
love bread. And then I got a text message the next day that said, "Hey, just so you know, all day long, all my children can say is I love bread. I love it.
I love it.
I eat it every day."
You get bread and you get bread. And I agree with you, Bootsy. Completely. That looked delightful, but those fucking glasses were too much for
Yeah.
me. That was a lot.
My
But
my poor Eliza didn't win though.
No,
But she wasn't going to. And it was so funny because this was one of the first Tony Awards that I've watched where like every prediction I read was pretty much
I forgot
exactly
to- I
the
forgot to
same and it
bring my
went
list.
right down the line.
I won the ballot pool.
Yeah, because
Oh.
I mean in the play version I wasn't sure. Like I'd heard good things about the humans, but I'd have figured Long Day's Journey. But she won, so Jessica Lange now has an Emmy, Grammy, and a Emmy, Oscar, and a Tony. So we got to get this bitch a spoken word album and get her
Right.
an EGOT.
We-
Very deserving.
right. The Frank Langella,
Oh yes.
his acceptance speech, I just loved. I was a little bit captivated by it. Just his delivery of it and his tone, everything was so. It just drew me in, and to say, you know, I had this list of all these people to thank, and I think it's better.
Yeah.
I think you'll all forgive me to
Uh-huh.
take a
Yeah,
moment.
you all
and-
know that I love you and I thank you.
Exactly, and it's kind of, I loved how he said, you know, I was told that it would come around. I was thinking 30, you know, but now getting his award so much later, and the just kind of the simplicity of his statement of playing a man who was
Yeah.
losing his capabilities, which his brother apparently is, and then to go on about, you know, we have the biggest, most loving crowd here, and we're all supporting. It just,
Yeah.
it didn't feel forced.
Oh,
It
no, it
didn't
rings- and
feel-
he's
Very genuine. Yeah.
Even though he
Very
gave Barbara
genuine.
Walters chickenpox, I still like him. I don't hold it
What?
against
What
him at
are
all.
you talking about?
Remember, she got chickenpox and she got really sick because Frank Langella had shingles and she had never had.
Oh,
She had never had the
remember
chickenpox
that.
and nobody had ever caught it. That
Will you
old bat
cue
had
up
never had the
Love is
chickenpox.
Love is Love?
So and then we'll get to it.
Okay.
So then,
Yeah.
best.
Okay.
So no, they didn't win. It didn't win the most. The most didn't win the most Tonys. It had the most nominations, but all it could do with the multiples in the same category was tie the producers. But when Philippa Sue lost. And the surprising one was that it didn't. That it lost. It won choreography and lost set direction. That's the ones I got wrong.
Okay.
Set decoration it lost.
Oh yeah, because on my ballot, I clearly pulled the H lever.
Yeah. Hard.
I voted party lines and then guessed it plays, and I think I got 14 out of how many are there? 20 categories.
Yeah, I got
14.
I got supporting actor and actress wrong.
I
went
forgot.
with the wrong
I forgot
shows.
to bring it.
So, but for best book of a musical, best score, music and lyrics was Lin-Manuel Miranda, and he gave this speech, which was absolutely lovely.
I'm not freestyling, I'm too old. I wrote you a sonnet instead.
Yes!
My wife's the reason anything gets done. She nudges me towards promise by degrees. She is a perfect symphony of one. Our son is her most beautiful reprise. We chase the melodies that seem to find us until they're finished songs and start to play. When senseless acts of tragedy remind us that nothing here is promised. Not one day. The show is proof that history remembers. We live through times when hate and fear seem stronger. We rise and fall and light from dying embers, remembrances that hope and love last longer. And love is 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 love cannot be killed or swept aside. I sing Vanessa's symphony, Eliza tells her story. Now fill the world with music, love, and pride. Thank you so much for this.
It's rough.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Speak to the night.
Yeah, it really was. Between that and Chickenpox Guy, I was fucking done.
Yeah, me too.
That's why I was like, oh, thank God nobody came over, because this is past Olympics crying.
Past the Olympics and the Oscars, quite frankly. No, I agree.
So
I
there.
mean, when he just kept going, and love.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on.
And he's
Oh,
just.
and even
And
it's
his
even worse to watch
wife
him do
is
it.
I know, I
Yeah.
agree.
And his
That's-
wife is like
his
fighting
wife
back the
is
tears
just-
from
yeah.
the get.
And our son is her best reprise.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
just I know.
I was done there. Quite
Yeah,
frankly.
I was too. It could have just been a sonnet to her and I was finished. When love is your best reprise. So
It's okay. We forgot.
that was the Tonys, and always trust me, people. If you can find it somewhere online or whatever, it is always the most entertaining award show of the
So
year.
much fun.
You
So
get
much fun.
live.
School of Rock was so entertaining.
Oh, School of Rock! I forgot to mention. These kids are so
good, right?
Talented. That
Yeah.
was a ridiculous thing with all of them playing live instruments, playing them well, and just having the time of their lives. Like that was
Yeah,
that was fun to watch.
I was super disappointed in the song choice that Bright Star made, though, because there is, and I have very little, access because I don't go to New York and watch things on Broadway. But I know of at least 2 other numbers that are so much fun
right.
that they could have done, and they went with the big voice and the ballad and the one featured actress, and I feel like whoever made that decision made a.
I think
made
they
a
went
wrong
with their one
decision.
acting nominee.
Maybe.
She was also the only acting
sure.
nominee, and they gave her a chance.
And
to
they gave
shine.
her a chance to do it.
And I actually I had her on her. Carmen Cusack, I think is her name. Mm-hmm. And another. It was a good performance.
No, I mean it was good, but I'm like, if you're trying to showcase your play,
Right.
I would have gone a whole nother way.
And it kind of it's a little bit commercially. It's a little weighed the wrong way because the Tony win gets you another year of running. Like you get to stay open, as we learned from Smash. So the fact that the musical that's already sold out years in advance and the tour is sold out years in advance, giving them the Tony commercially, you just kind of threw a couple people over under the bus.
Yeah.
And Chicago is now officially the longest running American musical of all time. The
Yeah.
little revival that could.
Did you lose it when Bebe came out? You were like,
she's fantastic.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's just a dream. Just a dream.
Bootsy said that the entire show is on CBS.
Yeah, but CBS,
CBS Online
is
is
still
gonna show it.
pay. I think.
No, you can
No,
watch the
CBS Online, I
Tonys.
think
You
you
can
can.
stream
Oh, okay.
it all through the CBS website. The clips are on YouTube and the CBS website.
Okay.
Good.
It won't last forever because leading up to this year's Tonys, they were directing you to Amazon and iTunes to purchase
Those
prior
fuckers.
years. I know. The fuck
Again,
are they thinking?
Everything's for
I
sale.
have it recorded.
But for now, this year is freely streaming.
Okay.
When you're
That's
a week away from next year's, you're gonna have to buy the shit
Damn it.
or bootleg it or whatever it is that you do.
Or watch it live.
Right. Or watch it live. Or mildly taped with your friend Scott.
There you go.
Right.
Commanding the
gently, gently take.
I think we were only like 20 minutes behind the entire show, and he
Yeah.
just kept it going.
I love it.
Well, that's
Yeah, and Sarah Bareilles. Ellis.
Bareilles.
Bareilles.
Oh, I always say it wrong. Thank you.
It's,
Yeah.
it's good to pronounce all the letters.
She's, I don't know. That's how I've always pronounced it, but she is really
Very,
something.
very
God.
talented.
Yeah. And
And
you know what?
effortless
That whole
again.
soundtrack is good.
Yeah.
I like
Aaron
it.
loves it. Yeah, my Aaron
yeah.
loves it.
I
Brittany
just
does it
happened to buy it after that song because I was like, well, That's who gets my $11.99 tonight.
Right.
I was like,
Oh,
and
did you?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like, that song was amazing, and Jessie Mueller, I think that's how you say her name, was just
I probably would
Just
say
a
her
great
name that way,
voice.
So
but-
good.
Mueller. Would you like to call her
I'd say
Mueller?
something different. Apparently.
Eller.
She never met a diphthong. She didn't
However-
stop and just work her way.
However,
There's
douche,
shit all over it.
I love that we've gotten to
douche
diphthongs.
nozzle.
I don't know that we've ever used the word diphthong on this show in 4
I
years.
haven't used a
Diphthong's good.
diphthong in a long time.
I don't
I'm
really
wearing
wanna
one
talk
right
about
now.
it.
Yeah,
And you know what?
can't
Reaching
too
back to a
much.
previous topic, covering my taint.
yeah. Two things.
Two things.
A biggie taint.
Not just the
That's a
president.
bigly taint.
No, wait,
I'm a member.
wait, a biggie taint.
I said
no,
a
wait,
bigly taint.
Oh,
Bigly
bigly. We're
taint.
gonna
Okay.
bigly taint.
Well, if I didn't, I meant it.
In
I'd like
related
to-
news,
I've been
I'd
dieting.
like to use
I
my
got
safe
sick
word now.
What is it?
Family
Pineapple.
meeting.
Pineapple. Pineapple.
Family meeting.
What is it? Pineapple.
no, pineapple's my safe word. Family meetings his
No,
safe word.
wait, no, what was the other one? Why do we keep saying? What was the safe word that we?
Philadelphia. Why are you shouting cream cheese? I thought that was our safe word.
No,
it's
safe word is
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
That's one of the best jokes ever. Family meeting. I'd like to invoke my safe word now.
Oh, be afraid.
Oh, horse
friend.
shit.
What was the other thing that
Well, that didn't give me any
Clayton had
goddamn-
downloaded?
What? Yeah, the 7-minute long.
The
one?
other thing that I sent you is the audio of Anderson Cooper
Doing
Is that
all
how
the
we're
names.
gonna
doing all the
end?
names. I don't know. I just did it while I was
I
doing
think that
audio.
should be how we end.
Yeah.
End the show.
I agree.
Fair
Since
enough.
we forgot to have that meeting,
Yep.
Yeah, because my thought was we were going to do it all and do it.
We should
and
have done it
do
yesterday,
a
but none of
round,
us decided to
do a
leave our
round
houses.
table
Do a round
of doing
table,
them.
I
But
know.
there are some
I know.
pronunciations in there that it's a challenge to get through.
right? But I
Anderson did it very well.
Very
We can
well.
let him do it.
Oh my God! And I just forgot.
I wanted to find the picture. CNN put up a picture earlier today, and it might be there now. They initially had done a collage of the initial 20, I think there may have been, 20 to 25, and then they expanded it out. And today they did one that shows all known pictures of victims
Yeah.
that have been identified, and then who have passed, and then also all of the victims who'd been shot. So it was a complete shot of all of their faces, and I wanted to put that up, but I couldn't find it earlier. Though CNN had shown it, but it might be online now because it's been about 4 hours.
Oh, and that the nursing student that keeps getting interviewed, former lifeguard nursing student with the big
was that
blue
the
eyes.
Shoes? The thing about the shoes? Did you
No,
see
that's
that?
that's the one that held the guy in the bear hug because he needed to hold pressure,
Yeah.
and so he was like, please don't make me. Anyways, no.
Yeah. Did you see the
But he-
shoes? The blood on the shoes?
Oh, that might.
The doctor?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, those will stay in the corner, and I need to remember for every shift. And Erin had that on
Yeah.
her page, and it was just the stories that are coming out.
Yeah.
You know, I can't do tail to snout.
What is that? That looks
of the
like it.
tragedy. Is this it?
That what's
All right.
yeah, shoot that to me because
Here, I
that
will.
looks like it. Because I would put that up on the screen while we're playing that audio.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
But we'll do
Hang on,
the-
it's coming.
Yes, and a lot of people have it as their picture today.
Right.
That's how I knew it came out. All right, Kat, it's you.
All right.
I've been paddling long enough.
I could play your theme, or you could deny it and upset the orchestra. I'm just saying. I don't
Damn that fucking orchestra!
I
Such
don't-
divas.
I don't want to
It's
upset
like Mozart in
them.
the fucking
Go
jungle down
ahead
there.
and go ahead and play the theme.
Okay, well, let me. Okay, here we go.
Oh, that was quick.
No, I'm kidding. Can we just play clips from Hamilton? All right, I have two stories. One completely unvetted, breaking news from the Facebook about an alligator at Disney World, and then another one with some good news that happened while we were all mourning a terrible tragedy.
Hang on. Something's coming. Something good.
Sit down, John, you fat mother.
Gotta edit that so it's a little tighter. Sorry about that. Go
I
ahead.
do like that one. I know. You know, I was editing quickly and with subpar software for that. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, take it there.
Breaking news.
Oh.
29 minutes ago, officials with the Orange County Sheriff's Office are searching for a young child who was dragged into the water by an alligator near Disney World Orlando. Will the horrors never end?
I know. Oh, yeah.
It isn't the happiest place on earth.
According to the Sheriff's Office, a 2-year-old was dragged into the Seven Seas Lagoon near Disneyland's
The Seven
Disney's
Seas.
Grand Floridian Resort and Spa around 9:30 p.m. local time. About an hour into the search, deputies who put crime scene tape around the water
Oh, they needed crime scene footage.
still had not found signs of the victim. The hotel, one of 3 on the monorail line,
The
The
monolith.
monolith.
Monolila line, is an upscale luxury resort owned by Disney and located right next to the Magic Kingdom Park. It wasn't immediately clear if the missing child was a guest of the hotel or if the alligator had an attorney.
That's enjoyable.
Thank you for that breaking news, Aaron
Now, you
from
know-
LA.
They would have been able to save the kid and the alligator if only the alligator had been armed.
Well, if the alligator
Yes, that's true. That's
and
everyone-
Mickey Mouse had a gun, I feel like everyone would be okay.
Let's just shoot him. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Now we did miss, just to help stretch your section.
Please.
That
Just to help? Did she need help?
she said she did.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
We completely overlooked that the singer from The Voice,
Oh,
whose
yes.
name I don't remember, and I feel terrible because I
Have a good night, Beg.
The
Thanks for
shooting on
joining
Friday
us.
night.
yes, the shooting on Friday night in Orlando.
It's Christina, I believe it's Grimy.
Something like that.
Grimy.
Very talented YouTube, got herself big on YouTube, not by eating, but she was actually singing. And then
Famous on YouTube.
famous on YouTube.
No.
She was on the
She's not bigly. She's kind of a thin girl.
She was on the 6th season of The Voice, or 6th or 7th season of The Voice, and really just a very talented singer, just trying to make it big, and was just gunned down for no reason whatsoever.
Wasn't it a stalker, or am I just making that shit up?
We don't know. Like they
Oh, okay.
like.
Well,
it
the man,
kinda
the
seemed
man
like-
who killed her was Kevin James Loibel. He's 27 from St. Petersburg, Florida. They didn't give any background or offer a possible motive. This is from
Okay.
CNN from yesterday. Yeah, she was signing autographs late Friday after a show at the Plaza Live Theater when a man approached, opened fire. She was rushed to the hospital and died.
And her brother tackled him before he could shoot anyone else, and he ended up killing himself on the ground. And
wow.
left a note on his door saying, like, I apologize to her fans and family. Like,
Fucktard.
like
Seriously.
kind of on his way to do. That's what I said. He was kind of shot Selena style. I mean, it was just,
Yeah.
but it just like Orlando. Come on, like, what the fuck?
Get it together.
Well, in case you were
Unbelievable.
wondering, this particular shooter had 2 handguns, 2 additional loaded magazines, and a large hunting knife.
Of course.
Investigators were going through his computer and his phone and other belongings to see whether they could find information about motive. There's no evidence that they knew each other, the shooter and Christina. Police said the suspect drove to Orlando apparently just to commit the crime and then had plans to travel back to where he came from.
Well, and Aaron from LA.
And,
had brought
and
up-
unfortunately, her story's been overshadowed by the events in Orlando.
Absolutely. Well, and
Or the events
story
at Pulse
about
nightclub, because both happened in Orlando.
the guy coming
Yeah.
from. Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy coming into, and I think it was Aaron that put it in there.
Oh, about going to
in
the
the
LA
chat room
Pride.
about the supposedly going to LA Pride.
Sure.
They weren't sure. He had all kinds of stuff in his car.
But he was also like walking the neighborhood and was reported as
Mm-hmm.
a prowler.
right.
Like kind of on like outdoor cam here. Is like, why is this creepy guy driving around? Like, and
Right.
it
With
wasn't.
like gasoline and everything to make a bomb and guns and
Yeah.
all kinds of things. It was really
And
Kinda
as we came
wild.
on, Brand told us that there was some kind of a threat at a club in Atlanta tonight.
I didn't
As
see
we
that.
were.
I wonder what club.
I don't know if Brand, if you're still listening, he was on earlier. He brought it up when we weren't on the air. So
Only because I have a client there, and I would
Yeah.
I would be curious.
Unbelievable.
No fun.
Unbelievable.
No fun.
And the unfortunate thing is, there will be, and you can't escape it because, again, more people are just stupid. There is going to be a rash of copycats who are going to try to pull shit off to think that, well, if somebody did it and they got attention, I'll do it too. There was on Sunday night when we did the vigil at Stacy's. I don't recall how it happened or how they got there, but I think the Phoenix police heard of it and they showed up and were on property during the entire thing. Then there were some people that were in LA for LA Pride that were just hanging out and partying in different places, and they took pictures on the rooftops of the buildings lining. Probably, I would venture to guess in WeHo, there were snipers all along the rooftops. I mean, it's unfortunate as hell, but there are going to be those copycat
Well,
people out
and
there.
you're right. And the whole month, that's what they were saying in Minnesota, because June 25th, I think, is the Minneapolis Pride.
so they get the real weekend.
Minnesota Pride, and the same thing with San Francisco and where else?
San Francisco and New York do the real weekend.
Okay. And it just,
It's
you know,
it's
the-
going to be a tense season for Pride.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the thing that I keep trying to point out and trying to express to people who maybe
Oh, he
feel
did.
differently than I am is we are not, like, we can't be the thought police. We can't just say, oh, let's keep the guns out of bad people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is good people. Everyone is bad people. Like, we all think we're the good guy.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? We all think we're the good
But
guy.
put me down in a Trump rally with a gun and see how I change.
Right. We all think the other guy's the bad guy.
Absolutely.
And we're
I
not
don't
going
disagree.
to we're not
Happens.
going to stop criminals. We're not going to stop entirely people who are
Right.
intent on destruction. But do we have to arm them so easily?
Right.
Right.
Could we just slow him down?
Right. Do we have to? Do we have
Can
to?
we just slow them down?
Does it have to take less than 10 minutes to buy a gun capable of mowing down 100 people? Like, it doesn't.
No.
It
Well,
should
and
take
the fact
longer.
that
And a note
I
from
know
your
Erin,
congressman.
my Ernie, had something on her Facebook page. I have no idea if anybody else had put this up or if you've seen it, about the fact that you have to go home and think about having an abortion. You know, I mean,
There's been a lot of comparisons to that.
Yeah, like
things, right?
make buying a gun, make them suffer
Absolutely.
through what they're especially in Florida and the South.
Yeah.
Make gun owners have to go what women have to go through to get an abortion. You have to have a doctor nearby. You have to have like clearance to a hospital.
You have to watch a video.
You have to watch a video
right, absolutely.
of people being mowed down,
You
or
have to
maybe a
walk
child
through
accidentally shooting
a
himself
walk
in the
through
face.
a gauntlet of people holding up signs of gun
Well,
victims.
Dems.
And
Right.
you know,
Oh, yeah. It's all appropriate.
There are, if someone's had a DUI, or sometimes it's, and forgive me for that, just a DUI comment, but if it hasn't been where someone has been hurt, thank God, or whomever, whatever, but if someone hasn't been hurt, they will have you go to autopsy and see someone who was killed by a drunk driver.
Jesus, that's grisly.
Well, and sometimes that can be what's needed.
I don't
Yeah.
know if it was mentioned, because again, I'm doing multiple things over here.
You're very busy.
With regards to people with DUIs and
Yeah.
stuff, they make them go to, I believe it's called what's the thing? Victim impact
Yes, yes.
class or panel, whatever it is.
Yep.
And you sit in a room and parents of victims tell their stories, and wow, like
Yeah.
it's amazing and it's courageous, because you see the people, like a mother stands up there and tells the entire story of the day she picked her daughter up from a daycare, and they drove wherever they drove, and there was a wreck, and the vehicle that literally ran over their car, it settled in the back seat and killed her daughter. And she tells the story, and you're like, holy fuck, that's just astounding to me that you can. And another that I saw was a woman who, her daughter, who was like this perfect daughter, never did anything wrong, took off and went to one of the local rivers, and just for an afternoon went with the river, but wasn't driving. But the girl that was driving had drank, and then she showed pictures in this class, like, of her daughter laying on the highway, and it's just the impact that it was
Yeah.
given to people, and I'm like, how that's just courageous as shit. It's a very impactful thing to have
Right, right.
happen to the people who are there, but I just
But
astounding.
if you do that for
And a
Congress,
similar-
Paul Ryan, almost vice rapist in chief, just sits there and stares blankly at you because the NRA's got a gun up his ass.
Right. Well, and the moment
But
of silence means so much.
Yeah, he does pray.
Of course.
But you know what I mean? Like
Your
they
prayers mean so
bring
much.
all
So
those
much.
people to tell those stories. Or like the funny thing is, like, you can't buy. I went to the drugstore to buy 2 things of Sudafed, and they said, "Oh no, that's illegal. You can only buy 1." All right, I'll take 1 pack of Sudafed and 7 guns.
Exactly.
Yep.
Perfectly fine.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, if you ban guns, then it'll be box cutters." That's how they took down. Except for now, you can't bring anything sharp onto a plane, and you can't even get a steak knife to eat your first class meal on a plane because they banned them after one thing went wrong.
And we're not children. We understand that the world is a dangerous place and bad people exist and accidents will happen and even intentional acts of
Yes.
violence will happen. We don't have to put the weapons in their hands
Yeah, that's the-
and load the gun for them. We don't have to do that.
Yeah, we can actually take some precautions. And Hillary Clinton was brilliant saying her thing. She's like, I can't bring a full bottle of shampoo onto a plane, but a terrorist is allowed to go buy an automatic rifle.
Well, and after they've been
Oh,
on
that really
the
that really hits home. That really does. I can't. Champagne? Really?
Shampoo.
Oh, shampoo. Well, I want you. Well, you don't need it. But other people.
You know what I mean? But I can't bring body scrub or something.
Right.
I can't bring the bath products I like with me because I might be a terrorist. But fuck.
Funny
But
how I heard champagne and you were talking about shampoo.
shampoo. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, you're looking at me and that is the right thing. The word starts sham. It's
Right. Got it.
yeah.
dollars to
He
donuts.
went the right way.
Yeah. It's
he
gonna,
really did go the right
I
way.
played the odds. I almost won.
You should have won.
can't win if you don't play.
Got it. Continue on. Whatever. Are we done? Whatever you got.
No, let's end on something other than that because
We
I
have-
know we're going to come back to that. So we're going to end on good news for free-flowing information and internet access. Just this week, while all of this was happening, cable and telecom companies just lost a huge court battle on net neutrality. Now, I know. For those of you that don't know or understand net neutrality, your internet service provider would prefer
Your ISP for those of you using acronyms.
to be able to charge a service fee for higher bandwidth
Right.
and make more money.
Which they
Isn't
they
this
do.
the same thing they
No,
got
they
with
do
like
that
in
now.
which they would be
Where
in
I
which
like
they would
this.
be able. No, they don't.
Oh,
They cannot. They lost the court case earlier this year, and they cannot throttle some services while other services flow freely through the internet.
Oh,
Your
that.
internet service provider cannot. Net neutrality means that everybody gets the same priority.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's like, 'cause
Okay.
I for a second I'm like, well, I'm paying an excessive amount of money for the speed I have.
No, that's
speed,
different.
yeah.
Different,
That's
right?
different.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. Services.
In your home, you pay for a level of service from the internet service provider. Okay, the internet service providers want to be able to charge services like Netflix and Hulu and HBO Now and Gmail and any service really for unfettered bandwidth while choking up everything else. Okay, that's not a good idea because then you only have the wealthy commercial services coming through to your internet while everything else just lags out and stalls out. So that kills smaller businesses that are trying to have an online presence. That kills information that can't afford to get through.
Right. So then you kill the news. 'Cause
Right.
Then you're lost in corporate media.
Right, because then I'm stuck with whoever can
And
pay
I
for it.
just said something like I just used my worst argument, but it does. In this case, I feel it applies.
For-profit news is the worst thing to happen to this
Yeah.
country. in
But
a
when
really
your
long
argument
time.
involves blaming the media, you just lost your argument.
Right. Or if it involves calling me names, then you also lost. But luckily for us, a federal appeals court has voted to uphold a series of strict no rules for internet providers. Now, internet providers have been reclassified as a public utility. So now they are subject to the same public oversight as your telephone company, as
Okay.
your television stations. And this is all very good news for internet, for information, for, anybody sitting with just a laptop and a broadband, access, or some kid out in the sticks with just an iPhone and an AT&T service. Like, you're still going to be able to get all the things. And
Okay.
and your internet service providers and corporations and people with all of the money are not going to be able to control the information that you get access to. So that's a happy thing. It's a really nerdy thing, and I was probably more interested in it than most. But that also happened this week.
Well, as a John Oliver watcher, I just wanted to know how it played out because he explained it to
He
me.
explained it succinctly.
In beautiful detail.
Very nicely. But that's about the only non-Orlando thing that I've really read in the last couple of days. I do, however, have a folder entitled Guns, Guns, Guns. So if you want to know about gun laws in the last 30 years, if you want to know about shootings, the largest shootings, the number of shootings, when the shootings increased, how they're being used, who's doing the shooting. As it turns out, it's primarily white guys.
Yeah.
Which we
Not
learned.
primarily, majority. It's 64% white men.
Which when they go
In the
through,
United States.
if you get a chance to watch Bowling for Columbine, a brilliant documentary that talks about what our society is focused on is the problem and what really is the problem.
Okay.
Like, here's what the show Cops made into like bad guys in the worst parts of society, and here's what's really happening. So it really does paint a picture of like what we're looking like. When
We're
predominantly
always
in
looking the wrong way.
as well as a gun culture, we also have a prison culture here now. And part of it is because we just love to lock people up regardless of what's going on, and it's completely not proportional to who's committing the crimes.
Right.
As we've learned. Did we talk about the rapist? Was that last week? Did we get to that last week?
Yeah.
That fucktard.
The Stanford guy. Yeah. His 6 months.
And as I said earlier, it's
for 20 minutes of action.
But it's
20
it's
minutes of
a
action.
terrible thing to say. But is there anybody more thankful for a different news cycle than him?
Well, that's just it. And quite frankly, I refuse to. I did, but I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say this other Astard's name. I don't think they have any business. Their faces
they don't.
being anywhere, their names being stated, any kind of.
But I'm perfectly okay if you
news.
recognize him in 3 months on the street, being like, "Oh, you're the rapist."
Right, and punch him in the throat. Because
Yeah.
I probably would, and I'd
good.
go to jail.
I might know.
probably
I'd be your
for longer
alibi. Oh no, she
than-
was with me
yeah,
at a
right,
movie that
right,
she'd
right.
never heard of.
She was at my house the whole
she
time.
probably still can't
is
name it.
because that
We were watching
that
the Tonys.
that guy in California, and that other guy in Florida, same guy. They're both it's terrorism in a sense.
Oh yeah, no, not in a sense.
Thank you. Because
even
I said that to
metaphorically.
someone else, and they were like, "What?" And
No.
I was like, no,
"You terrorize somebody. You
Exactly.
hit all the points."
And now they're stating that he may have taken a picture of her. And I haven't confirmed that. I was kind of looking at this, looking around on the internet to see if that's the case. And if it is, then I really think that whole X amount of months needs to be taken back.
6.
No. But he was only in for 3, right?
I
If
don't know.
not even that.
I can
but
only do the very
But it
first day
should
of the
go to
news
the
cycle,
11.
and then
Yeah.
I
It should
then
go
I
to the
cannot.
11 years if he took a fucking picture because he knew exactly more so.
Yeah,
than-
but I absolutely have to
Sorry,
say,
Ken.
like we talk about news cycles, we talk about how you want to be on top of it, and now you really get an idea of what was it? 10 days ago, the country was consumed with where are people peeing? Like it was
Yeah.
all
Oh.
consuming. The fire was raging throughout the whole nation.
And a gorilla shut that right up.
That's right.
Save our girls.
And then
save our girls.
Shut that down. Save our girls. The hashtags about the girls in Please Help Me Out.
Right.
Oh my God, that one.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
No, I was talking about how we have to save our girls in public restrooms from.
Oh,
The
right.
evils of
I thought you meant
transgender
Save Our
people.
Girls. The
Yeah.
hashtag from that. So but how fast we just lose a story
right
and it
on,
goes
yeah.
out of the national consciousness. And watching it on the news, I wasn't as aware of it as you are when you watch the tide of Facebook roll in and roll out with a gorilla.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roll in with a toilet seat, rolls out
Sure.
with a gorilla. It's just.
That reminds me, I need to go to this.
So
zoo.
you just have to wonder, what's and now this news cycle thing. Donald Trump got 4 days, and you got to figure if you're his PR person or you're running his campaign that he got 4 and this 20-second news cycle that he got 4 days
Sure.
out of going against that judge.
Oh, absolutely.
That's-
of a reprieve.
No. That he got bashed for 4 days. Nothing
right.
came
but
up.
with
that,
all of this going on.
Right. But the fact that he could that you can get 4 days of
that's
news
true.
out of shitty politics,
true.
that shouldn't even be 20 minutes. You know what I mean?
Two things. You did a story just a minute ago.
Bring back our girls. Thank you.
About
Thank
an alligator in Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which was this the current one that's going on
Yes.
right now?
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, I
because
mean-
CNN is doing a whole thing right now that they're looking for the gator, and it's on TV. So I didn't know if it was.
Oh,
News
yeah.
cycle.
They're looking for
All
the
right.
kid in the gator, apparently.
And we're
Yeah.
we're on to the alligator.
And the toddler is gone somewhere.
Yeah, it was breaking news.
We need to wrap up. I have an appointment at 10:30, so we do need to get moving on with this. So what section do we want to do? Are we doing a thought?
give him, let's
she
give him a dance
The-
break,
Give him
and we'll
a
do
pee
thoughtful,
break,
and we'll
The,
get out of here.
the peer in charge needs a dance break. So
Pissoir, according to Amina.
we're the pissoir.
Do the names. That's 7 minutes.
Uh,
Or do you want to
I'd
actually
like him
end
to
the
be
show
in
on that?
it, yeah.
Do we want?
I think we should end
I
it.
think we'll do that on the end.
Alright.
We'll just
Yeah.
let that be our rollout.
Yeah.
And then
You know what? I'm not producing this show. I'm really just.
I'm barely producing it right now, but that's gonna be 7 minutes. That's taking us a little more.
Nero.
We're gonna stumble along and talk until Al comes back because she's gonna come back eventually.
There are a lot of things that, if you don't mind, were you going to do something?
No, but I'm just trying to get us through the
Okay.
end of this.
So
Carry on.
there are a number of different things that are happening for people that are kind of feeling helpless. Aaron put a thing on Facebook about things that we can do if you're feeling helpless in the wake of the Orlando tragedy. And one of the biggest is, for right now, going to be giving blood. The GoFundMe, as we had put up earlier, and for as much as some people aren't about the animals, gotta point out that we're talking about the gays here, and so there are quite a number of animals that are kind of without their dads.
Oh no, and like
And
dykes and dogs, as they say in state and Maine.
right? And so the Pet Alliance is working, and this is now spinning again, Clayton. I have no idea why.
I don't know why either.
I don't.
There's a lot going on with
why.
our network right now. There's a
very
lot, very
busy.
busy.
Anyway, they are in the greater Orlando area, are extending to find pets homes, if need be, temporary or permanent where necessary. And I thought that I thought that this was a happy note in a shitty time, but they have the companion dogs. Have you ever seen that? They're like grief dogs or stress
therapy dog.
therapy
Yeah.
dogs and whatever, and they go into different places when things happen, and they took them down to Orlando, and that was something that I thought was wonderful, because that really does help console people, and there's something just about, for so many people.
Oh yeah,
not
we have
everyone,
pet
but-
therapy at the hospital, and
Do you?
it works. Yeah, they
I
have
think it's amazing,
they have
yeah.
volunteer pets that come in, and they can, in some cases, they can be in the room, they can be on the bed in some cases.
Okay.
But on that same vein, after 9/11, Mary Tyler Moore and Bernadette Peters headed up the thing for people whose pets were now alone.
Oh, I didn't realize
People
that.
pets for whose owners did not come home. So
Okay.
In
Wow, I didn't know that.
in light of everything, I don't really know that we need a thoughtful vulgarity section for the evening, because I think we've all been rather beat up emotionally over this past few days.
I would just say, like, is there a message we could all send out before we go to this? That would be the only. That was what I was thinking when I was peeing.
Oh, that's what you think when you're peeing?
Yeah.
Got it. Is there a message I could send out? Water's cold. Water's cold. That's
Yeah.
about it.
I think that the Winx reunion 2004. No,
It's that chili cook-off.
I have to borrow other words. Love is love is love is love is love.
Yeah.
Like, it just, the fact that anymore it doesn't matter, and my heart goes out to the people that we're able to get married if we so choose in this world.
Think carefully about that though, because
I
divorce
know.
is messy.
It's a bitch.
Oh,
But we're able to do that. And one of the biggest things that came into my mind immediately when I saw that were all of the people. This day and age is a little bit different, because the argument used to be that people could not, solely as partners, be able to go in if someone were hurt, killed. You can't get the information.
But don't you just wish that even if that weren't true, people would do the right thing?
I do, and they're discussing that's trying to go on, but that's where my heart broke for so many people, that family may not be involved,
right? And maybe
I mean,
you're not married, but it's just just a close. It's your friend. Like some of those people, like I don't know. That's the thing. Like,
But with the HIPAA law, I mean, whatever. If somebody is gone, but I don't know. So my heart just goes out to anyone who's looking, and just stay strong. And if there's absolutely nothing I feel like as a human being this many miles away, thousands of miles away, that I can do. And I know that people are saying prayer doesn't help and this doesn't help, but that idea of sending good thoughts and trying to help in any way on these GoFundMes, and it's what you believe in. And so if that's what you believe that you can do, then do that.
Right. If you think it helps, I won't take that away from you. But I would.
It's not going to change any fucking thing.
No.
But
I feel
but
like
if
my
that
senator's
helps-
prayers don't help.
Right, but if that helps you internally and just to find a peace with what's going on, then.
And anytime someone's
Godspeed.
abused or feels like they're
Yes.
like, whenever you're left with that feeling of I'm nothing, like this makes us feel like I don't matter. Like anyone who's been a victim of abuse knows that feeling of like, I don't matter anymore. You do matter. Like, that's the important thing to like, you, whoever you are, wherever you're, you matter.
Yeah.
You are something to someone somewhere.
Sure.
You know what I mean? If it's a pet, if it's a person, if it's a goldfish,
Doesn't
you
matter.
are something to someone.
Ooh,
And
a
don't
goldfish.
but there's just that feeling. If you've ever been the victim of any kind of abuse, it just gives you that feeling of, I'm not a person anymore. They've taken away my humanity.
Well, and
but you are, and
you're
even
right.
and that's why, like, these names, these people,
Yes.
it's so important to remember that was a person. Someone treated them like they weren't a
Yes.
person.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Exactly right. And the idea of survivor's guilt is going to be a huge
Oh, it's
thing.
going to be a huge one, right?
Fucking huge.
Yeah.
one, so.
Got nothing?
I got nothing.
I
Yeah.
will go back to the statement that I put out on Facebook on Sunday morning. It's difficult to do always. However, if something looks out of place, if that person in the corner who's always at the bar but never talks to anybody and seems a little odd, it may be the best thing in the world for you to engage with them and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, it's the absolute best thing to do.
Because
Engage.
Whether or
engage.
not you become friends with that person and you know that person, all of a sudden that person who didn't know anybody, and kind of know that person now, and it changes the entire dynamic in their head, because rather than being all alone, they might come into a bar and be, "Oh, I can wave at that guy. I know that guy or that girl. I know them." But again, it's just, if you don't know people, don't give them your entire trust. You have got to be vigilant and just pay attention to your surroundings and pay attention to your friends' surroundings, because a lot of us have friends that willy-nilly run off and do this, that, or the other, and maybe you're the Debbie Downer for saying no, but that time you say, "You know what, maybe you shouldn't go do that."
Or just take a look and.
Yeah. Pay attention.
We've all been there when 10 o'clock hits and we're sheets to the wind. Like, happy hour's been fun, wine's been fun. It's 11:15 and you're sitting at a pizza place and your fifth glass of wine. You're like, fuck, it's Uber time.
Right.
Right.
Just know how you got there. Figure out how you're getting home. You know
Got
what I
it.
mean?
Do you have anything to add on your?
No, that was mine.
that's it?
You are. Everybody is somebody.
Okay.
You really are. Hug someone. That's a good one.
I think one of the people sitting at this table said it pretty well. And if I may, I'm just getting to it. We all know a guy like this, closeted and self-loathingly gay, comes into the bar, into the gay bar to get drunk enough to not hate himself for a while. And Mr. McKee, you said that you can think of two people, or Kat, you did, that you can think of two people that would come in and shoot up the bar one night. And what I loved that you said after going through all that was that I can't deal with the details. Those kids are our kids. They're the kids we see every day, every week. They're the kids who can't manage to order a vodka cranberry in
True.
any way that doesn't make them look like an idiot.
Can I have a Grey Goose and vodka?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of them, but I know all of them.
Yeah.
They're us, and
And they are.
I was fucking done.
We
With
see
Yeah.
them all.
that was brilliant.
We see them all. All right.
They really are all of us.
We're going to go to this audio, and that's going to be the wrap up of the show. So, I guess on behalf of myself and the entire cast, we'll see you next
See you next
Tuesday.
See you next
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Begin tonight with their names. The names of the 48 out of 49 people who have so far been identified, victims of the deadliest mass shooting in American history, a massacre that happened in a gay nightclub just a block from where I'm standing, just down that road 2 nights ago. There is one name I want to tell you that you will not hear in this broadcast tonight, one picture of a person you won't see. We will not say the gunman's name or show his photograph. It's been shown far too much already. Over the next 2 hours, we'll certainly tell you about the investigation, all the latest, what we know about what drove the shooter to do the unthinkable. But in the next 2 hours, we want to try to keep the focus where we think it belongs, on the people whose lives were cut short. And we're going to start tonight by honoring them. There are more than a list of names. There are people who loved and were loved. There are people who had families and friends and dreams. And the truth is, we don't know much about some of them. We want you to hear their names and a little bit about who they were. Edward Sotomayor Jr. He worked at a travel agency that catered to the gay community. His family says he was witty, charming, and that he always left things better than he found them. He was 34 years old. Stanley Almodovar III. He was a pharmacy technician. He was the last video that we saw of him was posted on social media. It showed him laughing and singing on the way to that nightclub. He was just 23. Luis Omar Ocasio Capo. He was a dancer and a barista. He was just 20 years old. Luis Vielma. He worked at the Harry Potter ride at Universal Orlando. He was just 22. Juan Ramon Guerrero. His cousin said Juan came out to his family just this year and was afraid they might not accept him, but they did, and they embraced his boyfriend as well. He was 22. Christopher Andrew Leonone, known as Drew. He was Juan's boyfriend, and his mom says he established the Gay Straight Alliance at his high school. He was 32 years old. Eric Ivan Ortiz Rivera. A friend says he was always willing to help everybody and sacrificed a lot for his family. He was 36. Peter O. Gonzalez Cruz. He worked at a UPS store, memorized apparently all the regular customers' names. He could make anyone smile, his friend said. He was just 22. Kimberly KJ Morris moved from Hawaii to Florida just a few months ago to help her mother and her grandmother. She was a bouncer at Pulse nightclub. She was 37. Eddie Justice was an accountant who texted his mother from the club, texted his mother saying, "Mommy, I love you." He was 30. Enrique Rios. A friend says he was cool and a funny dude who could tell people, don't let the world hold you back from your dreams. He was 25. Anthony Luis Laureano Disla, a talented dancer born in Puerto Rico. He was 25. Jonathan Antonio Camui Vega. He worked for Telemundo, first in Puerto Rico and then in Orlando. He was just about to turn 25. Corey James Connell was a student at Valencia Community College and hoped to become a firefighter. He was 21. Mercedes Marisol Flores. Her father says she was a happy girl who had so many dreams. She was 26. Dianca Deirdre Drayden. Her family called her Dee Dee. She was a bartender at Pulse. She was just 32. Miguel Angel Honorato managed a Mexican restaurant. A colleague says he was an excellent boss and a good friend. He was 30. Jason Benjamin Josephat, a student at Southern Technical College, where a faculty member calls him a sweet kid with a bright future. He was 19. Daryl Roman Burt II was a financial aid officer at Kaiser University, was passionate about volunteer work. He was 29. Jean Carlos Mendez Perez was a perfume salesman. Apparently hit the gym almost every day, and his friend said he was always happy. He was 35. Perez's longtime partner, Luis Daniel Wilson Leon, grew up in a small town in Puerto Rico and was a shoe store manager. He was 37. They died together. Frankie Jimmy De Jesus Velasquez, a professional dancer specializing in a traditional folk dance of his native Puerto Rico. He was 50. Amanda Alvear, she was a nursing student at the University of South Florida, was 25. Martin Benitez Torres. He was a college student in Puerto Rico visiting family in Orlando. He was 33. Juan Chavez Martinez. His co-workers at a hotel say he was a kind, a loving person. He was just 25. Gerald Arthur Wright worked at Disney World. The co-worker says he was wonderful with the guests. He was always smiling. He was 31. Leroy Valentin Fernandez worked leasing apartments. A co-worker says he sang Adele in the office until they couldn't take it anymore. He was 25. Tevin Eugene Crosby, dedicated, hard-working business owner from Michigan. He was just 25. Brenda Lee Marquez McCool, she had 11 kids, beat cancer twice, and often went dancing at Pulse with her gay son. She supported him that much. She was 49. Her son survived the shooting. Angel El Candelario Padro recently moved to Orlando. He was new here. He had just started a new job as a technician at the Florida Retina Institute. He was 28. Gilberto Ramon Silva Menendez was studying healthcare management. His family says that he was the light and life of all family gatherings. He was 25. Javier Jorge Reyes was a salesman at Gucci. Friends say he was always positive. He was humble, a lovely friend. He was 40. Shane Evan Tomlinson was a gifted singer who performed at weddings and clubs, was 33. Simone Adrian Carrillo Fernandez worked at McDonald's, where he brought in birthday cakes for his co-workers, and had just gotten back from a trip to Niagara Falls with his partner. He was 31. Oscar Aracena Montero was the Simon's partner. He was 26. They also died together. Rodolfo Ayala worked at a blood donation center, was a Puerto Rican native, loved to dance. He was 33 years old. Frank Hernandez, he worked at a Calvin Klein store, was a great brother and had no gender tattooed on his arm. He was 27. Xavier Emmanuel Serrano Rosado was a dancer described as hardworking and friendly, proud of his son. He was 33. Akira Monet Murray, she recently graduated from high school, was planning to go to Mercyhurst University and play basketball. She was just 18. And Christopher Joseph Sanfeliz worked at a bank, was said to be the most positive guy around, was just 24-year-old. Luis Daniel Conde was a makeup artist, co-owned a salon with his partner. He was 39. Juan P. Rivera Velasquez, he was the partner to Luis. He was 37. Antonio Devon Brown was a captain in the, was a captain in the U.S. Army Reserve and a graduate of Florida A&M. He was 29. Alejandro Barrios Martinez was 21. Joel Rayon Paniagua was 32. Jean Nieves Rodriguez was 27. We don't have pictures of these people. Marie Rodriguez Sullivan was 24. And Paul Terrell Henry was 41 years old. We think it's important that you hear their names.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America.